So Pokemon Home is coming out soon, which means some of the strongest Pokemon ever are returning to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet this season. The legendary Genie trio of Tornadus, Thundurus, and Landorus all have returned with brand new signature moves that make them even more powerful than before. Both Urshifu forms return with the addition of Swords Dance to their move pool and the ability to now use Punching Gloves in combination with either Wicked Blow or Surging Strikes. And let's not forget about the dozens of Hisuian Pokemon that are coming, such as Hisuian Samurott with its signature move Ceaseless Edge, or Arcanine with its Rock's Head plus Head Smash combo. This only begins to scratch the surface, so let's take a closer look at these returning Pokemon in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Alright fam, let's get into it. I do have this beautiful graphic here put together, all Pokemon Home transfer only Pokemon for Scarlet and Violet with forms included. Shoutouts to @PearlEnthusiast on Twitter for putting this together. It looks very, very good, and this type of organization will help a lot when we're putting together this video. So let me zoom in immediately on the Gen 1 Pokemon so we can get into those first. We do have a good amount of Pokemon here, it looks to be roughly 20, so let's go with the top row and get into it. So let me hide this real quick and open up my team builder. As you always know, Showdown Team Builder, our best friend for looking at some of these Pokemon and finding out what's good and what won't be. I also am going to have my little tier list thing on the right so we can compare these Pokemon to, some of the biggest threats in OU, kind of see how they're going to do. So we do have all of our resources. Let's break it down. The first one, we had Charizard. Now, Charizard, I don't know why it's on this list. I think it might have to do with the raid or whatever. I don't know. All I know is that Charizard's already in the game. It's already UU. It's a fun Pokemon, but it really doesn't have too much OU viability. We used it with the choice specs in Joey's video. Fun Pokemon, don't get it twisted, but it surely has a lot more to go before it's as scary as what Chi-Yu was, or really any fire-type Pokemon. Zard always is going to have the same problems, which it always had, which was 4 times weak to Stealth Rock. If it does want to use Solar Power and make use of that awesome ability, then you have to run on a Sun team. You're taking Chip, etc., etc. It's a fun Pokemon. You can't get it twisted. It does have cool moves like Hurricane, Focus Blast. Fire-type Stab is always great too. But again, it's very hard to make Charizard work, so I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say that Charizard is going to be an OU threat or something like that. I mean, it's already around in the metagame, but, he's not doing his job. Next up, we have Pikachu on the list. Pikachu is another Pokemon, very fun, one of the greatest Pokemon you can ever get in random battles when you have that fake out Surf Volt Tackle set and you hover over the stats and it looks like Pikachu is Arceus when it comes to random battles. Unfortunately though, Pikachu will forever be Pikachu still, so we're going to have to let this guy go back to whatever lower tier he belongs in and not let it run around in OU so that you start all your battles down 5-6. We've compared to the tier list. I know this is a little bit outdated as Chi-Yu, Annihilate, Cyclizar, but tier hasn't changed besides those, so just ignore those Pokemon on this. You look at it versus Golden Go, Dragapult, Great Tusk, etc. It ain't looking too good for my boy Pikachu. So we're just going to kind of move on from that. Now, next up, we do have something that I think is pretty cool. We have Tauros. Now, funny enough, when I check on Showdown, it does tell me that regular Tauros isn't really released yet, and all the other ones are. So somehow Tauros regular sacrificed itself for all of his bros to pull up in Gen 9. And I'm not going to lie, all of the new Tauros Paldean forms are amazing. The water one and the fire one, I get a lot of mileage out of. I actually haven't even used the pure fighting type one yet. However, let's talk about regular Tauros. Alright, he's still the boss. Sheer Force, amazing ability. Intimidate is great, don't get it twisted. I love using defensive fire-type Tauros, spreading those Will-O-Wisps, burning everybody, being type annoying. It's great. You don't get it twisted. However, I used to run Sheer Force a lot in Gen 8. This thing has the coverage. I'm talking that rock climb's illegal? I'm talking that body slam. I'm talking that close combat. I'm talking that throw drop is illegal? Ooh, this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. I can't run my Gen 8 set anymore. Point is, you still do have a lot of decent options that make use of Sheer Force. Tauros has always had a really amazing move pool, especially on the special side, which I don't know why, considering the special attack stat is, 40? Very strong guy. But yeah, this mon will always be fun. I think he still has Iron Head too. Sheer Force, 100 attack is usable. It's not good, but it's usable thanks to the fact that we have Sheer Force boosting it. So I really wouldn't ignore Tauros. I'm not saying that this is going to be a top tier OU threat. In fact, I'm going to tell you right now, there's no chance this is a top tier OU threat, but it will be a lot of fun to use. 110 base speed versus 100 is a big difference. If you go through some of the Pokemon in the metagame that are in between that and OU, we have stuff like Garchomp, we have stuff like Sandy Shocks. Let me sort by speed, matter of fact, and we can look at this ourselves. Iron Jugulus, Treads, Enamorus, which I will be talking about later, Palmot, Espathra, the new Zoroark, I believe, has 105 speed. Yeah, there's actually quite a lot of shit. All the genies are at 101, so Tauros having 110 speed versus 100 is actually quite a big difference and quite a buff. Well, buff. This is the original Tauros. It's not a buff. Alright, it's just the OG doing his thing, but Yeah, that's basically it for Tauros. Let me move on. So for these three, Charizard, Pikachu, and Tauros, they're fun Pokemon. Don't get it twisted, but as far as high level viability goes, I will have to cross an X through all three of these. They did not make the cut. Next, we have birds. Oh, let's go. Let's go. We got Zapdos, Moltres, Articuno. All right, let me look at the thing real quick. So yeah, we get all the OGs, and then we have all their Galarian joints too. So let me add those right now to my team builder, and boom. Let me remove the tier list as well, rather, so we have some space. Okay, so we have all of the Galarians and regular birds. This is awesome because everybody likes the birds. You know, in Generation 8 and Generation 7, they got amazing abilities. Zapdos, yeah, Zapdos got static back in Gen 7. Maybe it had it in Gen 6. I don't remember, actually. Maybe it did have it in Gen 6. Point is, Zapdos in newer gens has access to static, which before we used to run pressure, you know, with default spam on stall or whatever, so you could bring Zapdos in versus opposing stall and be really annoying, take all their PP. It was a mess. Then we started running static. My boy Moltres, he got flame body. These Pokemon became some of the most annoying things we've ever played. Zapdos back in Gen 8 was a mandatory presence in the metagame. We had Pokemon like Kartana. We had Pokemon like Melmetal. We had some annoying shit running around in the metagame, and we had to stop it. Don't even get me started on that guy Tornadus T. Zapdos really felt in Generation 8 like it was a check all to everything. You know, you can't even hit it fairly, because if you do hit it with a physical attack, 30% chance that you get paralyzed. Great coverage with Hurricane, Discharge, Heat Wave, Roost, Defog. Heavy Duty Boots is a big boost as well. Zapdos won very big in Generation 8. Nobody can deny that. It was already good in Generation 7. It's already good in Generation 6. Generation 5 OU, it's not that good. You can use it on like a rain team or a defensive team, but it's definitely not that good. Gen 6 through 8 is where Zapdos definitely shines. Offensively, defensively, it really doesn't matter. Even in Gen 7, I ran an offensive Zapdos in tournament once with Z Electrium in Rain, and it did a perfect job. So you can really get a lot of mileage out of this Pokemon in those older generations. But who here is hating on Zapdos to begin with? Everybody knows this is one of the strongest and coolest Pokemon. But let's talk about Generation 9 and how I think this guy will affect the tier. So if we look at some of the Pokemon, Zapdos has a great speed. 100 means it's faster than Great Tusk and Golden Go, which I think is amazing. Specifically the Great Tusk thing. Because when Zapdos comes back, and to an extent, a lot of the flying types, I'll talk about the genies that are coming back later on when we get to that, but because all these flying type Pokemon, specifically Zapdos, are coming back, Pokemon like Great Tusk that currently have 40% usage, what exactly is their plan versus Zapdos, right? You can knock off Zapdos, you do 25%, you're going to paralyze yourself with static. You keep rapid spinning on the switch to Zapdos, you're going to paralyze yourself. Not to mention Zapdos is Hurricane, so Great Tusk gets 1-hit KO no matter what you do. You have to run Ice Spinner. Ice Spinner, I don't think, is going to be able to 2-hit KO full Fizz Def Zapdos. So again, you're just going to get parried, and then you're going to die to Hurricane. Great Tusk gets completely goobed by Zapdos, which I like a lot. A lot of Pokemon that, you know, aren't in the generation right now that could come in the future, like Kartana or whatnot, I feel good knowing that even if these physical attackers do come back, Zapdos will be able to check them. That 100 speed, it always comes into play a lot more than I think, even though the metagame gets faster every single generation. I mean, look at what we're fucking with right now. So many fast things. We got Iron Valiant, Roaring Moon. These Pokemon alone pull up at 370 speeds. We got Meow at 379. But you can't forget, there's still a lot of like medium speed Pokemon. And so Zapdos will do his job that way. I think offensive will be good. We haven't even explored potential Terra types with this Pokemon because it's not out. That's another thing. I can talk about all these Pokemon, but when it comes to Terra typing, I really just have my best guess based on what the metagame is currently. But for Zapdos, I don't know. I'd probably just run... Electric Flying is already an incredible typing. I love running Heavy Duty Boots on Flying type Pokemon because, I mean, shit. Of course, you're immune to rocks, and then you have all the immunities and resistances that Flying type has, which are a lot. Grass, Bug, immune to ground. I like it quite a bit, but Zapdos, I really don't have too much to say about this thing. It is one of the best Pokemon ever. It's always going to be one of the best Pokemon ever. Like, I don't know. They can't really buff it any more than they already have, in my opinion. Static was great. They gave it Hurricane. What are they going to do now? Give it Nasty Plot? Like, it's good. It's good the way it is. So Zapdos absolutely will be OU. I don't really see a world where it's not. As long as it... does it still roost? It still roosts, correct? It still roosts, which is great. And it's not able to fog anymore? Alright, somebody let me know in the comments below whether that is true or not. Because I believe some stuff we don't know. Let me go to National Dex so I can... But National Dex has a lot of bullshit. Like, they have Rising Voltage, Alecki, and like I said, I heard left and right a lot of different things. But we will say that if Zapdos does have access to defog, then it's pretty good. Hold on, why is this... Shit's in my way, hold on. If Zapdos does have access to, it's pretty good. Yeah. All right. Let me get my builder back open. Okay. But yeah. Oh, wait. I lost my guys? I lost all my birds? Don't tell me I lost all my birds. All right. There. I said it the national deck, so I got confused. My bad, folks. Next up, we have Moltres. Now, Moltres was pretty cool in Gen 8 for a little bit. You know, people made use of the Flame Body. The fact that Boots... I mean, Boots is the reason Moltres even had a role in OU. I've never seen this shit used in Gen 6 or Gen 7. There actually were a few black and white OU teams that made use of Moltres in the rain because it had Hurricane, Will-O-Wisp, and it could beat Ferrothorn. Some rain teams did elect to use this thing. At the end of the day, it's still hard to make use of just because in older generations like Gen 5, you don't have heavy duty boots. But, you know, Tentacruel under rain is a pretty good rapid spinner, so it wasn't the worst. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Back to Generation 9. Because Moltres got heavy duty boots in Gen 8, you can now actually make use of this thing's great typing and defenses. 90, 90, 85 is not bad at all. It's pretty comparable to Zapdos. What is Zapdos? 90, 85, 90. Basically the same shit. Flame Body is just as good as Static, if not better, because burning a Pokemon is a lot worse than paralyzing usually, especially if it's a physical attacker. This type of typing means you're able to switch into fighting type moves with impunity, ground type moves, fire type moves. In general, Moltres just defensively cock blocks a lot of stuff. Look at fucking Cerulege, for example, that is so annoying with this Bitter Blade, Shadow Sneak, whatever set. No matter what it terrestrializes into, bug type, fighting type, or it doesn't terra, it's still going to lose to Hurricane, Scorching Sands, Moltres. There's nothing it can do. So I do think Moltres is going to be pretty cool in that regard. You can also run a specially defensive-ish Moltres, and I bet you wall the shit out of Golden Go with that. Mystical Fire means that special attackers cannot switch in on you as you're able to drop their special attack by 1. So I'm actually pretty excited to use Moltres. This thing was always good in Gen 8 with heavy-duty boots. When I say good, I mean it had a role. Obviously, it wasn't a top metagame threat. It wasn't like, oh shit, my Gen 8 team gets cooked by Moltres. Somebody help. It wasn't like that. Surely it wasn't like that. But, I mean, it's still good. It's still a great Pokemon. I think it's going to be good for sure. It does check a lot of physical attackers. Look at stuff like Chien-Pao. You crunch into this and it's full Fizz Def. You probably don't 2-hit KO unless you're banded. No, you definitely don't 2-hit KO unless you're banded. And then you're going to burn yourself with Flame Body because this is an agency Zapdos and it gets the job done. Regardless though, yeah, Moltres and Zapdos are similar. They take use of that flying typing to go for the good resistances and immunities. And I do predict both of these will have a good role in OU. Moltres probably won't be OU by tiering, but it will definitely have some type of purpose. Terra type wise, I'm not completely sure. You can definitely go offensive with these and just go pure electric, pure fire, or pure flying so you can spam Hurricane. I'd probably go pure flying on both if I was going offensive, just because I can hit Hurricane a lot harder. But defensively for Moltres, I think you would want maybe grass or like water or some shit like that. I don't know. We'll see. Next up, we have Lowbro Articuno. Now, I'm an Articuno fan. You guys know that. I love Articuno, and I love Articuno galore. Unfortunately, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, right? I'm a fan of this Pokemon by design, and that's about as far as me being a fan goes. You get into the stat distribution, and the shit is a head-scratcher. Well, if you look at the stats, off the rip, it's like, what's wrong? Stats are beautiful, right? 90 HP, 100 defense, 125 SPDEF. Whoa, this thing is a tank. Look at the special attack, 95 special attack. This is Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Unfortunately, that's not the case. It doesn't come out like that in translation. Ice flying typing. Okay, we know ice typing is bad defensively, but as I've said 300 times already in this video, you just staple heavy duty boots onto his little feet and we're good to go. The problem lies with the move pool. The move pool is so ass on this Pokemon that you cannot save it. I've had videos with Articuno in Gen 8. I'm pretty sure I tried it in Gen 7. I like this Pokemon. I'm not a hater, but he's terrible. His coverage is balls. I believe he does get Hurricane, so he didn't get robbed for that. He gets Ice Beam, he gets Freeze Dry. Basically, you have Iron Bundle / Kyurem at home. This is like, if you were at home and you had a kid and they had a dollhouse, like it's at home. This is the Pokemon in your kid's dollhouse. That's what this shit is. This is not, like, you cannot defend a Pokemon like this. I love you, Articuno. I truly do. You've been around for so many generations. You just don't get the job done. Bro, we're stuck with Extra Sensory for coverage. We're stuck with Terra Blast for coverage. Like, what is this? This is Signal Beam? Triple Axle? You're telling me they took Triple Axle off Weavile and gave it to this shitter? Yo, Game Freak does a lot of good trolling. I'm not going to lie. They do a lot of good trolling. I really can't lie. Let me go to the data comparative real quick because I just want to make sure I didn't forget anything that they lost. Okay, it doesn't look like they lost anything. I'm looking at it, it just said Zapdos lost Toxic, Defog, Roar, Weather Ball. So it did lose Defog and Toxic, which is tough. And they're saying Moltres lost Toxic and Defog as well. Again, you guys let me know in the comments below if we know for sure or not whether Defog is there. I am hoping it's there, but if it's not, whatever. These things will still be good. Anyway, back to Articuno. This guy's move pool is so fucking weird, bro. He has screens. He has Roar and Whirlwind. He has all the normal support stuff, but it's just, why would you use this as your support? That's the issue. The stat distribution is good, so maybe we can Terra type it into something and turn it into a special wall, but you're better off using something like Ting-Lu that, you know, actually has a purpose. Despite if you take special hits, you need to do something besides roost the shits off. Also, this won't work as a special attacker because it has 95 special attack. If you want to use an offensive ice special type, look no further than the GOAT Frostmoth. But Articuno regular, as much as I like you, I don't see any purpose for you in OU. In lower tiers, this thing will probably do what it did in old lower tiers. Freeze Dry and be a specially defensive Pokemon with Roost and Heal Bell. But as for the agency, we are going to have to pass on this amazing Pokemon as it does lose to Golden Go, Chien-Pao, and the list just goes on and on and on. So good day, Articuno. We will continue on to the Galarian forms. So we got big Zapdos G. I like this Pokemon a good amount. It was fun in Gen 8. I didn't use it that much. It never really was like my preferred Pokemon. It's fun. The stat distribution is good. Speed is good too. I mean, it really is like a copy of Zapdos. They just threw it in the physical attack over the special attack. I think this thing will be pretty decent. Brave Bird, Thunderous. We'll put Close Combat. U-turn, and then... What do they usually run last? I'm trying to remember. What did I usually run last? I had Blaze Kick once, but I barely clicked that. Oh, Thunderous Kick is what I used to run, because you don't want to be only locked into Close Combat. So we have this with Defiant. I assume this will be pretty nice for Landorus T when it returns, because Landorus T is also coming back in home, so you'll be able to catch the Intimidate and that sort of nonsense. We look at the rest of the S-rank Pokemon. I feel like Blaze Kick might be needing the Slash. It doesn't get Throat Chop anymore. Oh, it does get Throat Chop. Throat Chop's probably better than Blaze Kick then, because Throat Chop also fucks up Skeledirge, which I know it's a rare encounter that this could happen, but if you do hit Throat Chop versus Dirge, it's not able to go for Torch Song. So we'll put Throat Chop there because it also does hit Golden Go, but if the Blaze Kick damage does end up mattering, then I'll consider that. Anyway, look at Zapdos Galar. Look at it compared to a lot of the other Pokemon. Great Tusk, for example, gets goobed. You just bring this in and Brave Bird it. A lot of Pokemon are not able to take this type of coverage, which I like a lot. It really is just the lead Pokemon, Golden Go, that would be able to, you know, deal with this 1v1. And again, they can't switch in by any means. This thing threatens Toxapex, Corviknight, Ting-Lu, all these Pokemon that currently do wall everything. Well, pretty sure Zapdos would come in and just smoke you with Terra Fighting CC, Terra Flying Brave Bird. I think I'd want Terra Fighting just because you die very quickly going for Brave Bird. Also, I'm pretty sure Terra type Thunderous Kick or Close Combat will smash anybody. You also destroy all this unaware bullshit like Dondozo with these moves. He's way too strong. Dozo is not going to be able to take those hits. It's going to be forced into a rest position very, very, very quickly. Garganacl, another Pokemon which would have to Terra type to beat this. I think Zapdos' coverage will be great. Galar form. Looking forward to it. Will it be OU? That I'm actually not too sure about. I think it will still probably be UU or UUBL, OUBL, whatever the case is. I don't think that this guy has the power to be in OU, unfortunately. We'll see, though. I have been wrong many times. So Zapdos, we're going to put you in UU for now. Moltres Galar. This shit was so annoying in Generation 8 OU, right? Everybody ran that stupid Chesto Berry. Sometimes they ran Boots. Basically, though, you would face Nasty Plot, Rest, Agility, Fiery Rat. Some people did run Hurricane over Rest, and then they had like a Berry or, you know, whatever the case is. I personally like this set. I don't see the point of running Hurricane on this. You're just going to miss, and fuck do I look like going for a Nasty Plot, Agility, a Rest, using 3 of my turns to set up just to miss a Hurricane and then lose. So I don't use Double Dance. I just put it all on Fiery Wrath. I mean, sorry, I do use Double Dance. I don't use Double Attack. I just put it all on Fiery Wrath with pure setup, boost everything, turn into Giga Arceus, Legend Plate on Crack. Like, that's what I want, right? I don't want to waste my time with Hurricane, setting up just to miss. So we look at Moltres Galar. This guy's a beast. Destroys Golden Go. Takes on Tusk really well because a lot of Tusks only use Earthquake and Knockoff. Tanks Special Drag Pulp pretty well like it used to do in Generation 8. Of course, it's weak to some other stuff like Chen, Iron Valiant, and whatnot, but Dark Flying typing is great. Dark typing, we realized in Gen 9, is probably the best, thanks to all the Ruination guys. This thing is going to be fun. Terra type, you honestly have a lot of freedom with what you want to do too. I would probably just Terra Dark to get that extra boost on your Fiery Wrath. You can go defensively. You could definitely go Terra Fairy if you want. Probably not a bad option, but I do like Dark Flying as it is. And I think that if you are just running this attack, you would want Terra Dark just to make sure that, you know, you just smoke everything. Because if you're at +2 and then someone brings in, like, I don't know, 65-70% Toxapex, you might barely miss the KO by a little bit. But if you have that Terra Dark, that supercharge, you're going to blow it up. EV-wise, I don't know what you run. Obviously, it would be some bulky shit, so this is arbitrary. I don't know what you'd run. Point is, though, you got to have a lot of special attack, good speed. This will probably just do what it did in the last generation. There really is not a lot of room for it to do other stuff. Berserk is an awesome ability. Means that if you set up on some shit like Golden Go as they make it rain and they do half, now you got +1 special attack. Similarly, something like Great Tusk, they close combat. It'll do a lot, 75-80%, but you live, you get your Berserk, now you're in business. I think this, I would probably run enough HP to live Valiant Moonblast. You already live Valiant Moonblast unless it's specs, thanks to this high-ass Spit F stat. But yeah, I would probably figure out something like that. Anyways, Moltres will be great. Definitely see this thing being an OU threat for sure. Don't know if it'll start in OU, but I think it's definitely going to be better than Zapdos G, and likely it'll be OU. Articuno Galar. I love you design-wise, just like I said about your bro. I love you guys. I really do. I'm not a hater, but your ass. So competitive, if you don't know, it's like the inverse Defiant. If you drop your special attack, then... So yeah, if they drop your special attack, it goes up 2 stages. Articuno Galar, you know, it looks like Frozone. Stat distribution is, you know, decent. Good, 125 special attack. Defenses or whatever. Speed is 95 instead of 100, which is bad, first of all. The thing is, if you have Articuno G, you don't really have the option of going defensively or, you know, really doing anything besides a full-off offensive set. We look at dude's coverage, and what do we have here? We have Hurricane. Okay. My bro used to play PU, and he was my teammate for some Smogon tournament in Gen 8. And in PU, Articuno Galar was on all of his teams, and that thing was pretty good. But yes, PU. So unfortunately, this dude will not be an OU. It does get Terra Blast, so we'll just throw it on. Every time you run into a Pokemon with ball sack coverage like this, just run Terra Blast. I was gonna say Bull Sack, the combination of ball sack and bullshit, but caught myself at the last second. This thing is very hard for me to give any real consideration to, just because in OU this has no purpose. There's dark types out the ass, there's Golden Go, there's like Dragapult. This has no purpose in OU, so it's fun. Hurricane, Future Sight, Terra Blast. I don't know what Terra Blast you're gonna run, but as for OU, this thing will be flat out bad. That is the unfortunate reality of it. Charles to Articuno. When we look at the birds, though, I can say pretty confidently that Zapdos, Moltres, and Moltres Galar will be the top 3, and they will all definitely have some type of purpose in OU. So look forward to those. Those guys are going to be great. Okay, looks like I've talked about the birds for quite a while. Let's look back at this. Okay, we have Mewtwo and Mew. So Mewtwo is just going to be Ubers. I don't really have too much to say about my bro. Besides that, if I go to the Gen 9 thing and I look at Mewtwo, what changes it got? It got access to Earth Power and Power Gem, which are awesome coverage moves for sure. Earth Power lets it hit Steel types better than Fire Blast, I guess, and Rain or whatnot if that happened. I don't know. I don't play Ubers enough. You know what I mean? I guess Earth Power is a consistent move versus Necrozma Dusk main. But I mean, you can just run fire moves too. And then Power Gem lets you smoke Ho-Oh, which is probably big. Then again, it's always still going to run its Side Strike. It has Ice Beam, Recover, Nasty Plot. Mewtwo is the GOAT, right? This thing is going to be an Uber threat. I don't have really too much to say about this other than that. Oh, I just realized that I had the thing in the way. Sorry. Mewtwo, yeah, this guy. Earth Power, Power Gem, Side Strike. You got no stat changes, no nothing. It's going to be the same Uber's joint. Mew. I put in Mew. Mew. Alright, so Mew is back. I like that. Definitely need Mew back. This is one of everyone's favorite Pokemon. How could they not have this back off the rip? Insane. But yeah, Mew is just going to do what it always does. Most likely going to go the support route with Stealth Rock, Spikes. Still gets T-Spikes? Still gets T-Spikes, of course. You can do whatever you want. Oh, can't Rapid Spin. Ass. But whatever. Still has hella moves. I'm assuming we're just going to see support for the most part. That's usually what we see. I don't think these 100 attacking stats are going to be the best way to go about it. However, I used Swords Dance Mew myself in Generation 8, and I used Nasty Plot Z move in Gen 7. So that's not to say this set is totally unviable if you go offensive. We also have a Terra type now. So what if you do something like Swords Dance, Zen Headbutt, Sucker Punch, Ice Punch, I don't know. And then I Terra type into a Dark type to get the extra Sucker boost. Like, you never know what Mew could end up doing when it can learn every move. And then you have Terra type, so you can basically have stab on every move too. So yeah, I guess offensive Mew will have some type of potential. I do think that we will see a defensive version as well. Probably some cosmic power. Why is it saying these are all illegal? Whatever, it's definitely not illegal. It definitely gets all this recovery nonsense, doesn't it? What am I looking at wrong? Is it not? It's got to get recovery nonsense. Regardless, the point I'm saying is that Mew is going to run some type of defensive set, and it's going to be Terra Fairy, because that covers the Bug weak, the Fairy weak, and it makes you neutral to Ghost while still keeping your fighting resist. Terra Fairy Mew will definitely be some type of set. I don't know what it's going to run, but I can guarantee you that Terra Fairy Mew is going to be one of the shits that is running the meta. Look at the tier list. Again, I mean, it's an offensive Pokemon. Of course, a lot of these other Pokemon are stronger, but Mew does have the ability to learn every move, plus the natural good bulk on every side. We'll see this thing in OU a good amount. I think it might be UU, though, just because it does seem really weak to me, now that I do look at the rest of the Pokemon, speed-wise, support-wise, etc., etc. But yeah, we'll see. Past Mew, we got the bottom 8. We got my dude, Alolan Muck. I really like this Pokemon. And then Alolan Hare. Let me put them in. Hare. What's his name? Yeah. Alolan Muck and Alolan Hare. So, these Pokemon are fun. We're going to talk about Dugtrio Alola first. I can only say this one way, folks. This guy's ass. He is so ass. 110 speed. It's so ass. Why isn't this Arena Trap? Unfortunately for him, he has Swords Dance and no Arena Trap. It's like a double-edged sword, because getting Swords Dance is heat. But this Pokemon, despite having gorgeous hair, like this Goldilocks ass shit is gorgeous. Like, I'm not hating. The problem is, though, there is no room for this bro in OU. When you look at ground steel types, we already have this thing, which does anything that this could do 600 times better, minimum 600 times better. It smokes this thing in every stat, bro, except for speed. It smokes it in every stat. Like, dude, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work, Dugtrio. So I'm just gonna forget about this. Don't use this. It'll maybe have a usage in lower tiers, but I'm only here for OU and up. So Dugtrio, maybe you can run some Stealth Rock joint. I don't know. I really don't know what this is. Why do they keep making these? Why do they keep making these? We even have this already. Whatever, dude. What Game Freak? I'm gonna find out. Muck is here though. Let's talk about Mr. Muck. Now that I got that Tangled Hair Rage off my chest, Muck is gonna be a beast. Point blank. This guy was beast in Gen 7. He's gonna be beast 2 gens later. Yeah, but what the fuck is Power of Alchemy? This Pokemon copy, yo, that is some shiesty shit. We put Poison Touch on here because we're running a Solid Vest, not Berry. The whole point of Muck is that Poison Dark typing is amazing. Who is the most annoying Pokemon in the metagame right now? This shitter. Muck switches into this easily and is able to force it out every time. Unfortunately, there is no more Pursuit, so it cannot punish Pokemon the way that it used to, but it really is fine. Dragapult, another Pokemon that runs around the meta like crazy. Just having a Sponge is really nice. Knockoff, it still learns. Poison Touch is great, right? 30% chance of poisoning. The reason I always ran Poison Touch and never even gave Muck like a Berry and tried out Gluttony is because with Poison Fang X Poison Touch, you basically are always poisoning whoever switches in. Poison Fang has the 50% chance, then you got Poison Touch as 30%. The odds are too high. They're too high. You're usually getting it. I used to run Fire Punch to hit Kartana, Ferrothorn, Magearna in Gen 7. I think similarly, there's Steel types in Gen 9, so you would like to have the coverage for those. No point running anything else. And then finally, I don't know if... I ran Pursuit, obviously, but now that Pursuit is gone, I really don't know what you'd run. This guy does have some pretty good coverage. I'd probably Ice Punch or Shadow Sneak or something like that. Anyways, Muck is going to be heat. You don't run max attack. You run a good amount of Spadef because you do got to take those special hits, but Muck is going to be great. Just having a Pokemon that can switch into Golden Go and spread poison. Like, it's not like you can go into your Ting-Lu or whatever immediately on Muck, right? Because you're going to get knocked off, lose your leftovers, and if you get poisoned, your shit is taking 12.5 per turn, and it's not with leftovers, so your Ting-Lu is on a super timer as a result. I would say my Muck won that interaction. So Muck coming back, having these Poison Touch knockoffs is going to be annoying. That being said, there is still one guy that pulls up on him and turns it into a pack, and that's going to be this. Garganical will always pack up Muck. So I see Muck being a great RU threat, something like that, but probably not higher than that. It'll be fun in OU for a couple of things, but it's not going to be an OU Pokemon, I'm pretty sure. Okay, next we have the cat. I don't even know his name. It's Persian. What am I saying? It's Persian. This is a cool design. So Fur Coat, if you guys didn't see my almost any ability live I did with Joey, Sama, and CTC, go check that out. All the Pokemon have Fur Coat. It's very broken. But Fur Coat, Pokemon's defense is doubled. Turns this thing from having mediocre stats into a pretty solid defensive choice. 115 speed is really good too. Yeah, I mean, its move pool is pretty good, I think. I mean, you're not going to really go offensively, at least in OU. So let me go for the type, not the type, the category of move. Let me go status. Let me see what we can do. Parting Shot is always good off that speed. Has access to Taunt, Switcheroo, and Thunder Wave. And then what? That's Foul Play other than that? Shit is ass. This shit is garbage. But it'll be good in lower tiers, I guess. But in OU, never touch this. Never touch this. This is like Ting Lu for hipsters. Who is already Wo-Chen for hipsters. Just use Wo-Chen if you want to run some dark type that annoys the opponent and doesn't do that much. Because this really does 0. Wo-Chen at least does like 4 out of 10 performance. This is outrageous. Do not use Persian. Just take one look at that thing. I'm going to tell you right now. There's no room for an OU. If Persian is your favorite Pokemon, apologies. No hate, of course. Just, we're looking at this from a competitive lens. He's not going to make it. Alright, alright. So next up, we have my guy, Raichu. Let me put that in there. Raichu Alolan. This is a fun Pokemon. It'll be cool with the electric terrain stuff because it does have access to Surge Surfer. This is like Quark Drive at home. Technically Quark Drive is Surge Surfer at home, but not really. But whatever. The case is, Raichu is pretty fun. 95 special attack is not that good, but the speed is good. His coverage has always been pretty decent. The thing is, we don't have Coco yet. And until we have Coco, I cannot in good conscience tell you to use this thing, because that means you have to use it with this. And if you're using this, you do not have time to use this. If you're using a Pincurchin, let's keep it a stack. The second you put Pincurchin in your builder, your next search is going to be Quark Drive, and you're going to rapid fire click 5 of these bitches and put them on the team. Let's not pretend like you're making a Pincurchin team and then thinking, yes, it was all for Raichu. Maybe Raichu can now fit to a degree because it's the fastest Mon, but no, it's ass regardless. Does it get Rising Voltage? No. Fantastic. Thunderbolt. Focus Blast. That's not. It's not bad, it's not good. Actually, it is bad and it's not good. Raichu will probably be NU to RU. OU you'll see it on the occasional terrain team where they troll around with their Pincurchin, or if Coco ever does come back. But for the most part, I cannot in good conscience say use this Mon because it's ass and it's going to lose to the majority of stuff in the metagame. Speed is not bad. Like I said, 110. But this 95 special attack is not cutting it. That +2, I don't know. +2 might be able to KO Ting Lu if you turn into a fighting type or a grass type. It probably does. So with the right Terra type, this could actually get kind of shiesty, you know? This is like Thunderous Eye at home. Maybe I was too hard on Raichu. It's bad, but it's like a controlled bad is the right way to put it. We look at the tier list. With the terrain up, you probably can sweep a couple of teams. You're just better off running something else, though. And I don't like running Pincurchin. Shoutouts to Raichu, though, because I was wrong. He's definitely a little bit better than the Pokemon that came before it, like Persian and Tangled Hair and even Muck. It's probably at Muck's level, if not even a tad bit better, thanks to the fact that Muck lost Pursuit and got hoed. Anyways, let's see here. We now have the final 4. Well, the good thing is these are all fairly viable. We got Galarian Bro, Galarian King, and then 2 new Hisuian joints. Let me load them up right now here. And let's take a good look, folks. All right, so we have Galar Bro. Oh, oops. First Slowking Galar, Slow Bro Galar. Then we had Hisuian Electrode. And we had Arcanine as well. So first off, we're going to talk about Slowbro Galar because this is the one that is least useful, I guess, or least worth talking about. Slowking Galar has always done what Slowbro Galar did. It just does it way better. Slowbro got given hella attack, which is cool. You can run that Belly Drum Quick Draw bullshit with Quick Claw. If you're going to run Slowbro in OU, this is how you do it. Quick Claw, Quick Draw, you run your Nasty Plot, Cheese Set with Shell Sidearm, Psychic, and I think Focus last. You run your cheese set like this, and you basically just hope your Quick Claw activates. I believe it's just under 50%, maybe like 44 or something with these two combined. So it's not bad. It's really not bad, and it's always a fun hack strategy when it works. In lower tiers, I do think that they go with a bit of a defensive spread, but in OU, there's no point defensing this up because the SPDF is so bad that it's not going to do anything for you anyway. It gets Belly Drum, so you can also run Belly Drum, Drain Punch, and then, what is it, Shell Sidearm? Physical plus contact if it would be stronger. Facts. Shell Sidearm is such a sick move for that alone. So you can't always run Belly Drum. I just don't know if it's going to be the way to go. But on dual screens, I can see this being kind of fun. Slowking G. Now this is who I wanted to talk about. Our Regenerator buddy is finally back. Been waiting on this thing for a while. I think this is going to be one of the better Pokemon for sure in the metagame. Let's just hop into it. Let's look at some of the Pokemon. So if we do give Slowking its traditional Assault Vest set, and we give it all of its coverage moves of Sludge Bomb, Future Sight, Ice Beam, Flamethrower, and that just scratches the surface. It had Earthquake, it had Hydro, it has all types of good shit you can run. But you look at S rank, it's pretty good. You can trade in a Golden Go very, very easily. If Golden Go is not specs, it's going to fail to even 2-hit KO you, and you're going to be able to Flamethrower for half, if not more. Pult, again, just like in Generation 8, if you can't KO Slowking with a special attack, such as Pulse, Shadow Ball, or whatnot, you're going to have to take that hit back, such as a Future Sight, Ice Beam, and whatnot. And that trade is usually way more beneficial for the Slowking user, because they can just switch out the next turn and Regenerator it all off. Slowking is weak to Great Tusk's Earthquake, which is pretty nice. I do think we're going to see Slowking with a bit of a mix set. I do like that Tusk handles this, because I didn't want this thing to just pull up with Regenerator and wall everything mad annoying. So we probably will see some type of Fizz Def investment for sure, so you can trade into Tusk, take the Earthquake, knock that shit back out with Ice Beam, Psychic, whatever you really want to go for. Looking at some of the other Pokemon, this thing is pretty good versus a Spathra too, if it's not sub, because you're able to poison the joint. But I guess it would actually end up setting up on you, so maybe that's not actually the case. Now that I'm looking at it and I'm thinking about it, I'm like, damn, even if you do poison a Spathra, that shit's just going to roost on you, so I guess it doesn't really work in that sense. Whatever though, Slowking will just do what it always did. Defensive low pivot, come in, annoy with its stab moves, and go from there. It does have options to run other items. It can run Colbur so that it can tank a hit from Chen and retaliate with whatever it wants to do. This mon always did have good coverage moves. It has Thunder Wave, Nasty Plot, it has Trick, which you can do with Black Sludge. I remember I ran this set in tournament quite a few times. Black Sludge, Trick, Nasty Plot, and then you basically just have whatever coverage you want. I believe I just had Dual Stab. I used to run this set a good amount. Very hard set to beat. Trick away your Black Sludge, then you're Nasty Plotting for days, and they're like, no, why is my Heatran losing 12.5 per turn? Meanwhile, your boy is Nasty Plotting in front of them with impunity because the SpDef is too high. Yeah, Slowking is going to be great. Can't wait to see how this changes the metagame up, as it probably will. And it's definitely going to be OU. Slowbro, this guy's going to be RU or something like that. Okay, moving on. My man, Electrode Hisuian. Very, very fun Pokemon. Let's talk about it. Soundproof, meaning that, you know, it's immune to sound-based moves. This is something that I forgot to talk about in my original Hisuian video. The fact that this is immune to sound-based moves means that Skeledirge cannot hit this thing with Torch Song, which is cool. I see two routes for Electric Guy. We have Substitute plus Leech Seed. There's one route for this guy. Because his speed is so good, it will be able to get up Leech Seeds and subs pretty fast. Probably more than the majority of the metagame. Also, there's not a lot of Magic Guard currently in the tier, so it's going to be hard to switch in and block that. Of course, you can go into your Hatterene, but you can always break Hatterene with Discharge, aka you paralyze them, they're stuck, they're not doing nothing. Final move is Chloroblast. Now, this move is whack. It's 150 base power, and you lose 50% max HP, 95% accuracy. So this is like Head Smash, I guess, but special and grass type. Shit is whack. Point blank, shit is whack. Why do you lose half your HP? This thing is not strong enough. This doesn't even kill anything and you're losing half your HP. So while I do like this Kamikaze attack by name alone, competitively I don't think it's going to be that good. This thing will not be OU. It's probably going to be NU. And I say that with all honesty. Grass Electric is a cool typing. The moves are cool, but what the fuck does this do? Who is this for, exactly? I think Subseed is going to be the only way. And you have to Discharge, Paralyze the Golden Go to beat it. This thing will be a fun mon, though. I'm definitely going to do a live with it. But, don't get mad at me if Dragonite comes out and Dragon Dances 33 times on your Electrode and you're like, dude, what the fuck? I'm not doing no damage. Yeah, well, you should have taken a good look at the base stat total before you were confused at the damage. Shout outs to Electrode, though. We're going to give him his live. Don't worry. He's good. He's good. Arcanine. Yes, sir. One of the strongest Pokemon and one of the most exciting Hisuians that are dropping. Let's talk about it. So, the big thing is Rockhead. Give that boy a Choice Band. I personally don't even think you need Choice Band. I think Heavy Duty Boots is more than fine, but we're going to go with Choice Band just because we want all the power possible. Rockhead, this is like what we all prayed for, right? We were all at the Game Freak Shrine saying, please, please, just give us Rockhead. And we got it. So this mon has Head Smash plus Rockhead. That means that it does not take any recoil whatsoever. This is amazing. This is honestly amazing because it still has Flare Blitz too. Having these two supercharged stab moves is just like, what the fuck? You look at the most physically defensive Pokemon in the metagame right now. Great Tusk, Dondozo. It doesn't matter. They're both going to get 2-hit KO'd, blown up. You turn into a Terra Rock type. I don't even think you need to turn into Terra Rock to 2-hit KO Dozo with Head Smash. But if you do Terra Rock, well, the thing is goobed. That's the point I'm trying to make. Bulk-wise, it's still solid. 95, 80, 80 is nothing bad. Fire Rock as a typing defensively is fucking terrible. Double weak to ground, double weak to water. You decide to just gain a fighting type weakness as a result. You lose good resist as well. This is really a terrible defensive typing. However, we're not using it for its defensive typing. We're using it for the offensive typing. This is going to be the set we see the most. Head Smash, Flare Blitz, Extreme Speed, and then the last. Now, I was thinking the last would be Close Combat, right? Just because that's what we usually run. Unfortunately, they said that this doesn't get Play Rough, which is bullshit. Why doesn't this get Play Rough, guys? We needed a move to hit Garchomp. So this not having Play Rough sucks. I believe regular Arcanine gets it, but whatever. That basically leaves us with either Morning Sun, and then we go with Heavy Duty Boots. But if you are running Choice Band, if we're going to go for the last attack, I would think that we're most likely going to use... Raging Fury is funny. It's fucking Fire-type Outrage. Wild Charge is not bad, because you are able to hit water... Wild Charge is not bad. Wild Charge is not bad. You still don't take Recoil. I mean, it's unlikely that you're going to be clicking Wild Charge like that, but you never know when you need to go for this 100% accurate move over a Head Smash. What if it's versus a Pelipper? And you never know. You never know. What if you cannot risk this 80% bullshit? You cannot risk it. So you go for the 100%. You never know. I'm telling you, you never know. So Wild Charge might be worth it. Other than that, though, I don't know. Like, what else? Because the thing is, it gets a lot of funny moves, right? It gets Iron Head. It gets Crunch. It gets some decent physical options. But if it's not stronger than neutral Head Smash, even a super effective move like Crunch or Iron Head is still weaker than Head Smash, which it will be, it's not worth giving it any attention, and you should just run this. So probably see this, Adamant or Jolly, I don't know. I think I would want Jolly because I don't want Tusk faster than me. Fuck that. It's already strong enough, dude. You don't need Adamant with Head Smash, Rock Head, Choice Band, Terra Rock, all this stuff. Like what the hell is this? How much do you want? I'm acting like Rock Head is a power boost. No, Rock Head just stops the recoil, but it's what's going to make Arcanine one of the biggest threats. Now, tiering-wise for Arcanine, let's talk about it. Look at S-Rank. Arcanine can go toe-to-toe with a lot of these. It can 1v1. It can even change its Terra type to anything, right? Like I said, I don't really think you need Terra type Rock, Head Smash. This is already strong enough. I really don't think Terra type Rock helps you that much. You're already going to 2-hit KO everything, OHKO everything, it's whatever. So I think defensively, you can go a lot of different directions. Usually when I don't know what I want, I just do Fairy. Or I'm going to go with normal because I want to turn this into Arceus Light and hit those tough E-speeds. So a lot of different options, a lot of different ways to go. Arcanine is going to be a top meta threat. Will it start in OU? Maybe it'll start in OU, but I do predict that as the metagame develops, they will find a way to put this at the very end of OU, or it'll be in UU. Some Ceruledge type distinction. I don't know how to explain it, but I don't think Arcanine can stay in OU just because Fire Rock is so bad. Then again, though, this Head Smash Flare Blitz bullshit with Rockhead and E-Speed, that really does, leave a lot. That really could end up being something crazy. And so, yeah, that is our Gen 1. So I know that did take quite a bit, 40 minutes, folks. Hopefully the rest isn't as long. But I guess we can talk about Gen 2, as that is quite quick. So we have Typhlosion, Lil Bro, a.k.a. Typhlosion Hisui. Okay, so Typhlosion, Hisui. And then we have Quillfish, Hisui, and I'm just going to put Overquill in here as well. I know Overquill is what's the word? It's actually Gen 9 or whatever, technically Gen 9, but whatever. We're just going to put it in here because we're already talking about Quillfish. So, Typhlosion regular, we've seen this dude do the exact same shit for what? 6 generations straight. This is all he does. This is all he does, and I'm not hating. I'm not hating, all right? This is all he does. Choice Scarf Eruption. Boom, boom, boom. Attack. I'm not hating. He does his job well. Fortunately, after so many years, decades even, we got somebody else to do his same job, but with a little more swag. Now, Typhlosion H does not get access to Flash Fire, which was an amazing hidden ability that old Typhlosion had. So we're going to have to make use of Frisk or Blaze. They're both pretty decent, and Slash, they're both useless in the same way. I don't know. I guess Frisk is good because I like knowing what someone's item is. Eruption, Focus Blast, Shadow Ball. Final move is probably going to be Fire Blast, but it does actually get some pretty good options. It does get Bitter Malice, right? Or no, that's That's what's his name. What's the move called? Let me find it. I want to make Bitter Malice is, I believe, Zoroark's Infernal Parade. So it's a 60 base power ghost move, special, 30% chance to burn, and 2x power if the target is already statused. It's basically Hex, but a little weirder. I mean, it has the odds to burn you. Problem is, 60 base power is really weak. I do think it's worth the final slot though, just because if you do have a team that's worked around statusing the opponent's team, you Thunder Wave them a lot. You have you have T-Spikes up, so you're able to poison them and that sort of thing. Then a Pokemon like this, using Infernal Parade, it can work out, because if the opponent's team is already statused, why not? Not to mention 30% burn chance does make switching into Pokemon like Toxapex and Ting-Lu a lot harder, right? If you had this set and your last move was anything else, Toxapex would always wall Scarf Typhlosion. However, if you do have that Infernal Parade, despite it doing only 60 base power, right, it's going to be weak. It's only going to do 20% to Pex. If you burn that shit, next time you come in, you're doing 40% and they're burned. They've lost now. So I do think Infernal Parade does have some good merit. 30%. This is like Scald mixed in with Hex, but it's a ghost move. Definitely worth the slash. I like Scarf the most. Typhlosion has a great speed tier, 95 with 119 special attack. It's not weak, right? It's not 100 base special attack, something pussy like that. He has the special attack to take use of Eruption. Gonna go with this set. I don't really think anything else is worth entertaining. You can Terra Blast and turn into a different typing, but I would honestly always Terra Fire and just keep hitting those Eruptions. And yeah, this is going to be a fun Pokemon to use. Fire Ghost is something that Pokemon has done hella times now with Marowak and, what's his face, Blacephalon, but I welcome more of them. Fire Ghost is a fun typing. Defensively, has nice resists with the fighting and bug resist, fire, all that. Still weak to a good amount of stuff like Dark Ghost and Ground, so it's not like this could ever be overpowered. But if you compare it to some of the big metagame stuff today, I kind of like it as a Scarfer, right? Checks Dragapult, Golden Go, Oko's Tusk. It can check Chen, obviously, if you don't get hit by Sucker. Scarfer-wise, it still outspeed stuff like +1 D-Knight. You're immune to E-Speed. Not that you're going to really be doing too much back, but hey, the typing is there. So, shout out to Typhlosion. Let's keep it pushing. Qwilfish and Overqwil. So, Dark Poison. Give this thing an Eviolite, because that's the set that I use the most. I like this a lot with Eviolite and Intimidate. This thing becomes extremely fucking bulky. You max out its Fizz. I mean, honestly, you don't even have to max its Fizz Def that much. You can run a lot of Fizz Def, but you can definitely run Speed because this thing is so fast. I believe it gets Spikes. Does it get T-Spikes? Yes, it does. Taunt, and it does not. It does get Debond. Holy shizzay. If it gets Debond, then this thing is a menace. This thing is a menace for real. Defensively, it's fan-fucking-tastic with the Eviolite plus Intimidate. You can bring this thing in on Great Tusk, live its hit like it's nothing, probably Toxic it all off. Does it get Pain Split still? Ah, that's illegal. That's annoying. Either way, I do think that this thing is going to be great. 95 attack is still good too, so it's not like you're a sitting duck versus Pokemon coming in. You can always Gunk Shot. Doesn't get Throat Chop? Crunch. So it can hit Golden Go or whatever, which, who knows, maybe you need to. Special defense is not bad, thanks to the Eviolite. And you can always invest in that joint too. Don't get it twisted. I think this is going to be cool. I'm using this in OU. I'm literally going to use this in OU. It checks a good amount of Pokemon. It checks the shit out of Champao. That's for damn sure, because you have Intimidate plus Eviolite. What are they going to do? Ice Crash me? Whatever. I'm getting up these hazards, and I'm Gunk Shotting, and I'm poisoning you. Fuck out of here. Does this get Thunder Wave still? Ah. It robbed my guy of one of the greatest support moves ever. Whatever though, we don't have to stress it too much. Qwilfish is going to be a fun Pokemon to get those hazards up. It's also not weak to Hatterene, who is known to stop Clodsire, Ting-Lu, and that kind of thing. You just hit that shit up with a Gunk Shot. What are they going to do? Draining Kiss for 20% or whatnot. I do like Taunt a lot. That way no other defensive Pokemon can fuck around with you, get their own hazards up or that kind of thing. And this thing's speed, like we keep saying. High as shit at 85. A defensive Pokemon having this type of speed stat is a huge, huge asset, let me tell you. So, all things considered, Qwilfish, it'll be great. Definitely looking forward to it. Overqwil. Overqwil is a little different than Qwilfish. Speed is the same, but it's very attack-oriented with 115. The thing is, though, I don't know how good this is going to be compared to Qwilfish as a hazard setter. Offensively, you can go with an offensive set. I just don't know if that's the way to do it because it's Swift Swim. It's not even a water-type Pokemon. This is a meme Pokemon offensively, in my opinion. I'm running this with Focus Sash, Intimidate. I'm running Barb Barrage because that move is cool. I'm running Spikes. I'm running my T-Spikes. I'm running Explosion. Doesn't get Explosion, Self-Destruct. At least it can still boom. Thank God, but Destiny Bond is probably better. You run this with a Sash just because it's a fully evolved Pokemon and a little bit stronger. You can run your Gunk move, though. Yeah, I guess this will hit a little bit harder. I'm only looking at Quillfish and Overquill through the lens of putting up hazards and playing a support role, which is why I'm personally very biased towards using this over Overquill. But whatever. It's going to be a good Pokemon regardless, both of them. But my heart is with Eviolite Quillfish. So with that being said, we are past the Generation 2. Let us continue, folks. Alrighty, oops. Let me move that real quick. We are now on to Generation 3. Generation 3 is simply 3 Giga Ubers. Huh, okay then. So if we go and we look at what changes happen to these Pokemon, I believe Rayquaza now earns Stealth Rock, U-Turn, and Wild Charge. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Let's talk about that real quick. Why in the world have they given this Pokemon Stealth Rock and U-Turn? Wild Charge is whatever. His move pool is already godlike. Can you explain to me why they would give this Pokemon this? I believe V-Create has been removed from its move pool, which is one step in the right direction because this shit should have never been V-Creating. However, it still has access to his Dragon Ascent, its Extreme Speed, whatever the case is. This is not a move pool, alright? I don't want anyone looking at this and being like, what the fuck, bro just made Rayquaza that loses to Corviknight. Stop hating. I'm just showing you what moves it has still that are amazing. U-Turn on this is nonsense. Now it's a Stealth Rocker. Just funny. I still think that for the most part with Rayquaza, if we see it, it's just going to be Swords Dance. You need to understand, as long as Terastallize exists, if a Pokemon has Extreme Speed, it's always going to Swords Dance and turn into a normal type. That's all this bullshit's going to do. Anyways, this set's going to be broken. But it's going to be Ubers, and then Mega Ray, etc, etc. I don't care too much for Ubers. All these Pokemon are broken and check each other. Good for them. Next up, we have Mr. Groudon. And this shit got so many moves. Do you see this? Just take one look at this, folks. He lost only Heat Crash, got Spikes, Wisp, and Body. Wisp is amazing. Spikes is amazing. Body Press is fine. It's just a cool option because the defense is so good. Dude, what is this? I mean, I understand that Groudon is more or less a fire type. Like, that's always kind of been the lore. But I guess they said, fuck it, let's just give it Wisp. Awesome support move. Can't wait to make use of this. Spikes is the big one, though. Basically makes this the Uber's Ting-Lu. I'm rocking that double hazard. You thought Groudon was supposed to make use of 150 attack? No, sir. I'm getting up these hazards. Suicide lead. You really wouldn't get it. You really wouldn't get it. This is about to... Oof. Shimon incoming. And then my boy Kyogre, it got nothing apparently, so... Shout outs to Kyogre, but we moving on from you. And with that, we are complete with Generation 3. Let's move on to Gen 4, where we do have quite a few exciting Pokemon, and quite a lot at that. Alright, so as you guys can see, we do have the little Psychic joints, and then we do have a lot of Legendaries, so let's just put that into our team builder immediately. So, Zelf, Uxie, and Mesprit. So, these are some fun Pokemon. They all sort of fell off after Generation 4. I believe Azelf was the last one to be OU. Yeah, these two were never even... Was Uxie OU in Gen 4? I don't know. I don't remember. I know Mesprit's dumbass wasn't. In Gen 5, none of these guys could hang in OU, unfortunately, just because the power creep was too big. Yeah, stuff like Tyranitar pulling up, and that basically just invalidated these to the end of time. But we're now in Generation 9. I even used the Zelf back in Gen 7 and Gen 8 because I love this Pokemon from a design perspective. It's really funny. Just looks like a cute little Mon. You know, the speed is so good. 115, 125 attacking stats each. Like, dude, this Mon, in my head, this Mon was always supposed to be the truth. Like, this Azelf was supposed to be the boss. And I love this Pokemon. Even its shiny form, that little yellow. Ooh, come on. I'm a major Azelf fan. So some of y'all don't even know this stuff because I never talk about these Pokemon because they have no competitive potential for the most part. However, stop the cap. Azelf, Uxie, and Mesprit, they all got some crazy buffs in this generation. So these dudes have some new Psychic type move. Let me look it up. Some new Psychic type move that boosts all their stuff. Mystical Power. Yes, sir. So I believe all of them got this. Yeah, Mystical Power. This move is a 90% accurate 70 base power move that has a 100% chance to raise your special attack. So I believe Charge Beam is 90% and has a 70% chance to boost your special attack. This is Charge Beam, but the good version. Now, this is a little bit weaker than Psychic. I can't lie. This is a good 30% weaker than Psychic. However, I do think that on a potential Choice Scarf set, this could have some type of utility. Right? You continuously boost your special attack. Azelf does has access to Trick. It has U-Turn. I'm not saying this thing is going to be some amazing Pokemon that is going to take the metagame by storm. and destroy everybody. However, I do think that as a Scarfer, this could have some potential. You could late game sweep with this. Do not take it out of the equation. I really do think that this could have some potential as a late game sweeper. Speed is already good. It's still faster than stuff like Golden Go. It is slower than Dragapult, Chen, but everything is. I believe he's slower than Valiant by 1, which is horrible. And it's slower than Roaring Moon too, which it's tough. But that's why we run Scarf anyway. And we run Dazzling Gleam, obviously, to hit those dark types. I don't know. Personally, I think a guy like me is putting in insane work. I'm putting up fucking, I don't know, LeBron James, Anthony Davis numbers with this itself. Personally, that's just the way I see it. We will see when these do come out what it will do. As for itself's other options, Nasty Plot, all that, don't waste your time setting up Nasty Plots with this. You're better off doing it on another Pokemon that's not going to get one-hit KO'd by Pult or Chen or whatever. I don't like setting up just to get forced out. If you don't have the bulk or the speed to make use of it, what's the point? Azelf doesn't have either. If it was 125 base speed or 135 base speed, it's a different equation. But because it's only 115, it ain't worth it. Just attack. So with Azelf, I'm going to be running this. You can always run the lead set with Stealth Rock, but there's a reason nobody runs that set the last few generations. It's not good anymore. Uxie. Now, Uxie could be cool with Calm Mind plus Mystical Power as a new move that boosts special attack a lot quicker. You could definitely run a lot of stuff. I mean, it has Stored Power too. It has Dazzling Gleam too. But I'm thinking Uxie will just do what it did in lower tiers with the screens, rocks, memento. I'm not going to talk about this too much. It's done the same thing every generation in the lower tiers because that's what it does. And then Mesprit is the in-between of these two. Sometimes he goes offensive. Sometimes it goes defensive. It has Healing Wish, which the other two don't have, which is a big one. But other than that, it's going to be lower tier. So as far as I see it, Azelf has the best odds of being OU, but they're all going to probably be RU. That move is going to be good, though. Mystical Power. Don't sleep. You're going to get swept by it if you sleep. Alrighty. So next up, we have Dialga, Palkia, Arceus. All of these dudes are back in Ubers, and they all got some standing forms. I'm not even going to talk about the non-standing forms because, dude, forget the standing forms. And then I'll put Arceus here just so you can see that these two are definitely dick riding and trying to be the same by standing up straight. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. Let me go to the Gen 9 comparative real quick and see what they earned. Dialga got access to Trick and Focus Blast. Interesting because you cannot trick this dumbass crystal away, but we will give it Focus Blast. And then Palkia got access to Trick as well. Whatever. So, I mean, this is cool. Dialga is a good amount of, what, stronger? What is this? What do you got? You got 100, 120, 120, 100, 100, 120 at the cost of more Spadef. Oh, this new Dialga's crazy. All it did was get an extra Spadef boost, and it lost its attack. Well, you don't even need attack anyway when your special attack's 150. So I can say with confidence that Dialga Origin Form, his ass won. His ass won bigly. Because I'm looking at the comparison, right? This dude has only 120 defense and 100 Spadef. This has 120 across the board. This is stupid bulk. So in Ubers, they're probably going to end up using this. Obviously, this can run an item, so maybe that does make a big difference, and a difference big enough that you don't want to run this type of Dialga, but I don't know. And then as for Palkia, this guy became a NASCAR. He's 120 base speed instead of 100. Somebody tweeted at me saying that this is a nerf because in VGC, Palkia makes use of its 100 base speed with Trick Room, but now that this joint is 120, you can no longer use the Trick Room set. So that's pretty interesting. What did it lose? Its attack stat? It did lose its attack stat. Interesting. So we'll see if they run these. This is just I wanted to talk about them. I don't really know what they're going to do, nor do I play Ubers, so it's not that important. Alrighty-o. Moving on. Heatran. Alright, let me just talk about Heatran, Cresselia, and what's it called? Sneasler. Because Giratina, his ass is Ubers. Sneasler, Cresselia, and Heatran. So we start with Heatran. Now, this is a Pokemon that everybody is waiting on. We've had so many issues with that dude Chiyu coming in, stomping out our metagame over and over and over again. And it's that shit got banned. More bans are going to end up happening as a result. You know, what if Heatran was around? If my guy Heatran was around, maybe we wouldn't even have been afraid of that little dude, Fluttermane. Remember this? Remember this guy? He was running around for a good 3 days terrorizing our metagame. I'm be honest. My Heatran switched in on Shadow Ball. It took 26. I went for Heavy Slam. I eradicated the whole Fluttermane species with one Heavy Slam. We miss you, Heatran. We do, so we're happy you're back. Heatran lost Roar, Toxic, and Eruption. What the fuck? This guy lost 3 amazing moves. Roar is probably the least useful of the two, but Toxic and Eruption? Why? Why, Game Freak? Why? Why? This thing needs Toxic, bro. Why? And no Eruption? They hate us. They hate us for real. Anyways, it still has access to Taunt, which I think is the biggest thing. If it lost Taunt, then I would have had to fall to my knees and beg the powers that be at Game Freak to fix this dude. Anyways, it's better to look at the Pokemon in the metagame than talk about what Heatran does. Golden Go packed up by Heatran. Tusk does beat Heatran, it's faster, but Heatran can always Terra. And I think the best Heatran Terra type is going to be Grass. That's what I was running in National Decks. You still have Flash Fire, right? So who cares? You're still immune to fire, and then now you're resisting water attacks, stuff like that. It's going to be good. You own Special Dragapult. Don't got to worry about anything with that. Chien-Pao cannot one-hit KO you unless it's banded, and if you are Flame Body, then that thing has to run the risk of burning itself. You totally destroy a Spothra because you taunt that thing and then you heavy slam it and it gets goobed, I'm pretty sure. Iron Valiant will beat you, unfortunately, but you can always Terra heavy slam that. Gambit, you can Will-O-Wisp it, or you're faster already, so you Magma Storm it. Tinglu, that's something you'd have to Terra against. Roaring Moon, something you'd have to Terra against on Earthquake. And then you look at the bulkier mons. I like the way Heatran works with the bulkier guys. I could even see Covert Cloak being a potential set, so you could switch it into Garganacl. But if Heatran did end up being the premier Garganacl switch in, they would just start running Earthquake and so on and so on. Regardless, Heatran's going to have a very healthy purpose in this meta. It needs to check a lot of these annoying special attackers. I don't like Golden Go and Dragapult coming in here and clicking Shadow Ball willy-nilly, no fucks. Alright, I need this. Stuff like Iron Moth, Skeledirge. Bro, don't even get me started on this shitter that just goes in and he Quiver Dances. You know, he just Quiver Dances, he Will-O-Wisps you, then he... No, not Wisps, sorry, Morning Sun. This set right here, yeah, keep using this bullshit. My boy Heatran comes in, taunts you, and puts you in a pack. Terra Blast Ground, do whatever you gotta do. The point is, Heatran is going to put a good restriction on the metagame, and I'm looking forward to that abso-fucking-lutely. So, my main man, Cresselia. This Pokemon is a little weird. Hold on. So guys, when it comes to Cresselia, not a lot has really changed. If anything, it's gotten a little bit tougher for Cresselia. Like I've been saying so much, the Dark-type Quartet has really hurt just the viability of Psychics, Ghosts, and that kind of thing. Cress does get access to one new move, I believe. I forgot the name of this move, so allow me to look it up. Basically, it is like the equivalent of Jungle Healing, yes. Lunar Blessing. So, this move is just like Jungle Healing, which was on Zarude. It heals 1/4 of your HP, and it clears any status. So, it's like Refresh plus a little bit of... It's like Refresh plus Life Dew in one. Yeah, that's the best way to describe it. It's pretty cool. Problem is, even removing Cress's, like, bad status that it got is not going to change anything because this thing's special attack is still really shite. It can be cool. I think with Terra, you definitely cannot count it out, especially because now you get rid of the shitty Psychic typing and you obviously go full Fairy. I do think that this could have some type of utility. The problem is, though, only healing 25% versus Moonlight healing 50 is just so outrageously different, right? The extra 25% is huge. Both of these moves only have 8 PP, so effectively your Lunar Blessing only recovers 200%. That's not shit. Like this move, you'd end up losing all of it. A lot of Pokemon do more than 25% to Cress, so this move is not really worth it. I think we're gonna see this more than anything. Sorry, Calm Mind, Moonblast, Moonlight. Obviously, this loses to Unaware, guys. Clodsire, Dirge, all of them are gonna set up on this thing, put it in a pack. But if you're running offensive in the first place, well, you're always going to lose to Unaware. This thing's way too weak to break anything unless you're literally +6, and that's not an understatement. If Cress is not at +4 to +6 boosts, it is not going to hit anything hard enough. I mean, the special attack doesn't even hit 200. You got to understand, this is not a strong Pokemon by any means. You're playing off the fact that the speed is amazing, ability is amazing, and the defense is... Well, these are beyond amazing, right? Like, Cress has always just been that kind of Pokemon. Like, fuck, I run into a Cress, I can't kill it, it's so annoying, ah... Yes, this joint is very, very annoying. However, I like Cresselia because as annoying as it is, it has a good purpose, right? And every time I see it, it's just like, dude, what are they planning? Does it get access to Trick? Does have access to Trick. Does have access to Lunar Dance still. So never count Cress out. As far as dual screens cheese goes and all this setup spam bullshit, they always make new offenses as the metagame changes, right? Metagame always changes and a new hyper offense comes out. I believe Cresselia will definitely find its part on these Orthworm Grimmsnarl teams. There's just no doubt in my mind. Cyclozar's gone. This guy might have to step up to the plate. Alright, next up we have Big Sneasler, a Pokemon that everybody is quite excited for. Now, I was recently put on to something cool with Sneasler through Battle Factory, which I did not even consider. Bros, this thing had acrobatics versus me, and I don't remember what his item was. Obviously it was a consumable, but what a lot of my viewers were telling me is run the electric seed or run whatever seed and pair it with a terrain user. So I was thinking, holy shizzay, we're about to pair this joint with Indeedee. I already like running Indeedee a lot. I don't find Indeedee to be a mediocre Pokemon by any means. But yeah, you just run it with the item that, you know, makes Psychic Terrain 8 turns instead of 5. I can't think of it currently, whatever that item is called, but basically you'd send out your Sneasler. You would immediately consume your Psychic Seed. You get +1 Spadef, which is pretty cool because, I mean, the Spadef is good. It's more the defense that's worrisome, but regardless, you bring this thing in, you're automatically at +2 speed. Nothing is going to outspeed you at 678 speed. Not even the fastest Scarfer Dragapult would be able to outspeed you. You're that fast. The attack is outrageous, 394, right? This is like Chen-Pao level. No, it's higher than Chen, sorry. And it's higher than what its old form Weavile would have had. Coverage-wise, close combat, Swords Dance, flying fighting coverage is already phenomenal. Now you just need to move to hit Golden Go. And that really, you can just do whatever you want. I would assume people are going to run the poison type move, but I honestly don't know what the best option is. Like, I'm trying to find out what the best option would be. I would assume you just want Gunk Shot, but I don't know, because I was thinking about running this set personally. Terra Flying Acro. This way at +2, I absolutely obliterate Toxapex. That stupid Great Tusk is getting shamoned by me. That's not even a question. I think Acrobatics is the way to go no matter what. After they told me that you can run it with Seed, or, again, you don't even need Seed. You can run Pinch Berry. You can run whatever you want. You can even Fling. You could Fling and then run Acro. This thing gets Fling, right? You could even Fling. Like, it really doesn't matter. This thing has a lot of options. And I'm excited. I'm excited as a result, because we don't have a Pokemon like this. It even has U-Turn. Like, come on, dude. 120 speed, 130 attack, all these different support, offensive. Let's talk about the other ability, too. Poison Touch with the access to the move Dire Claw. If you don't know what Dire Claw does, you may have to sit down after I tell you what Dire Claw does. Okay. Dire Claw, let me just change this. This is just so that we can have the correct looking set. Okay. Then Acrobatics. You'd probably make this on a Choice Band set. I don't know if you go Acro still. Probably not, though. I don't know what the last would be. Regardless, Dire Claw. 50% chance to sleep, poison, or paralyze your target. This is just out of this world in combination with Poison Touch. Basically, you're going to be inflicting some type of status on whatever switches in, as long as it's not a Steel type and it's immune to the move to begin with. Sleep something, poison something, paralyze something. Like, what could you ask for? What if Toxapex comes in and you sleep it? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if Clodsire comes in and you paralyze it? All this is going to be awesome. Can't wait to use Sneasler. It's absolutely going to be one of the best Pokemon in the metagame. Defenses aren't too good, so it is checked by that, but I mean, we're not using this as a defensive Pokemon, right? We're going full offensive. We're trying to smoke everything, and so for that reason, I think this is absolutely going to be one of the biggest threats in the metagame. Look at the tier list, compare it to some of the other Pokemon. I mean, the speed is good. Again, defense is bad. It's not like it's going to be living a hit, but it threatens everybody else just as hard. And Dire Claw is really annoying. The fact that you can't go into your Skeledirge or whatever to wall this is hella annoying, because they're just going to status you. You can go into your Garganacl to take that, but then you're just going to get close combated. You turn into a Fairy type with your Garganacl. Now you're weak to the poison. The cycle continues. Sneasler will be that guy. So let's look if we have anything else on here. Just looks like Arceus. Arceus, that guy has access to the Legend Plate, I believe. Does he get anything else? What the hell? Look at these moves. All it lost was Whirlpool, Healing Wish, Taunt, Bulk Up, Dragon Dance, Flare Blitz, Pump. What the fuck? Why did he win the lottery like this? This is beyond lottery winning. Powerball ass shit. What is this? Dude bought a $10 scratch off, walked out with $1 million. What the hell? Look at this. It lost. It literally is saying on there that it lost Whirlpool. Look at this. Sorry for the slow turn, all right? But that just makes it more exciting when you see for yourself what this thing lost. Are you looking? The anticipation of finding out that it lost Whirlpool? Look at this. This shit lost Whirlpool. Meanwhile, it gets all of the... I don't understand. How can you give this Healing Wish, Bulk Up, Dragon Dance, Hurricane, Stored Power, which is very funny, given the fact that this is such a Pokemon that can sit up for days. I love it. I love it. Arceus, though, Legends Play, I don't know how it's going to work in-game. I don't think we know how it's going to work in-game yet. Hold on, sorry, let me just fix my dimensions real quick after that. Yeah, I don't know if we know how it's going to work in-game. Arceus Plate. Basically, this Legends Plate lets its Judgment hit super effectively no matter the type of the opponent. Some bullshit, I don't know. Let's keep it pushing. We're done with the first 4 gens. Wow. 1 hour video already, and we still have hella shit to go. Great timing by me. I thought this video would be an hour. Great timing by me. Alrighty, so let us move this to this. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Da-na-na-na. This is exactly what we want. Super sexy Gen 5 Pokemon. Let's go. I do see that Hisuian Samurott is leading the pack. However, we're going to be talking about the other guys first. Thundurus. I tried to make his item Thundurus. That's really crazy. Thundurus, Landorus T. And then we have their joints. Thundurus T. Landorus T. We've been waiting on these. Streets have been asking for these for quite a while now. Let's not get it twisted. After playing with these for so long, we can only say one thing. We are damn near addicted to these Pokemon. It is the honest truth. These guys, specifically Torn and Lando. I love Thundurus. I love Thundurus. It used to be broken in Gen 5. It was banned. However, Thundurus is not the same tier as Tornadus T and Landorus T. And even the I formations too. I have the tier list here just because I want you all to digest one by one how many Pokemon Landorus T and Tornadus T are going to stop. I can't wait to bring my Tornadus T into Gold and Go and knock that shit off every single time. Yeah, go for Make It Rain as it does 60%. I'm knocking you off. You ain't shit. Great Tusk. Great fucking Tusk my ass. Going for Stealth Rock Rapid Spin. Go fucking ahead. Go fucking ahead. I'm just going to defog for days. Hurricane Knock. I'm laughing at you. I'm laughing at you with my Tornadus T. You still get knockoff? Damn, you don't? Whatever, doesn't matter. You still get Hurricane, right? Alright, that's enough. Bleak Wind Storm? Alright, good. Bleak Wind Storm is the new move for Tornadus T. It is a 30% chance to lower the foe's speed by 1. However, 80% accuracy? Why can't we just have a normal flying move with good accuracy? I'm going to be honest. Let's compare these moves. PP-wise, it's the same. 16 and 16. 70 versus 80 in the accuracy department, and 100 versus 110. So really, it's not that much of a difference. Bleak Wind Storm is about 10% weaker, while being about 15% more accurate. However, well, 15% from 70%. Number-wise, it's 10%. Y'all that know math, you'll understand that the 15% was the right statement. Anyways, here's the thing. I think we're still going to run Hurricane here at the agency over Bleak Wind Storm. Because if you're going for the secondary effect, why do I want the Pokemon to be slower? My dude's already very fast. Why do I need the Pokemon to be slower? Meanwhile, a 30% chance to confuse. That's a 30% chance for them to not make a move that turn. It's a no-brainer to me. Hurricane's better than Bleak Wind Storm. We'll see as the metagame develop what people want, but I personally think that Hurricane is just better. Let me go to the comparative data real quick so we can see what everybody got. Tornadus lost Defog, Knockoff, Toxic, Superpower. Whoa. Whoa. No more Fog, no more Knockoff, no more Superpower, Toxic, and Weather Ball, so you can't even run it in the rain. This guy's taking a beating. This guy's taking a beating for sure, not being able to go for its 2 best support moves. Again, when Pokemon Home comes out, who knows, maybe Game Freak will troll and let us actually have all these moves. But so far from the data leaks, we have seen that it doesn't have this. Doesn't matter though, Tornadus T literally cannot be bad. If anything, the fact that it lost Knockoff, Defog, Toxic, all that means the Assault Vest set might go up, because we stopped running Assault Vest because we had to run Taunt, Defog, Toxic, all that good shit. Maybe this goes up in usage now. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe we do end up just seeing All Reliable. It can still Terra. Does it have Nasty Plot still? It still has Nasty Plot. You never know. You never know. This guy, it could have some type of utility. You never know. It's still Tornadus T. It's never going to be bad. Regenerator, this typing, this speed, move pool. The bulk isn't even good, right? Tornadus T is always a surprising Pokemon to me in that sense. 79 HP, 80 defense, 90 speed F, and yet it seems like the bulkiest son of a bitch to ever live. This thing will be OU. There's no question about it. I just want to talk about this thing first because it's mad annoying. Landorus T, his Brody. His Brody. We've been waiting on this too. The Great Tusk the Great Tusk Rampage, it needs to stop. Tusk will end up running Ice Spinner 1000% in this generation thanks to Tornadus T, Landorus T, Zapdos, all this stuff. Tusk is going to need Ice Spinner now to check that. I'm just looking forward to Landorus T checking a lot of the offensive Pokemon that are so annoying in today's metagame. Roaring Moon comes in and it just smokes everybody with these strong ass attacks. Go ahead and get intimidated as I U-turn on you for 50%. You like that? King Gambit. Yeah, you think all the dead homies is helping you out and giving you a boost? Yeah, go ahead. Landorus is going to come in and intimidate all these dudes. They're running Supreme Overlord. So we might even see a shift to Defiant Pokemon such as King Gambit as a result of Landorus dropping down. Landorus lost a lot of moves too. Landorus T lost Defog, Toxic, Knockoff, Explosion, Superpower, and Rock Pot. Yeah, dude. This thing also lost a lot of moves. However, who gives a fuck? It still has these three, and for that reason, it can never be bad. I'm literally being serious. As long as it has these three moves, don't worry about this thing ever falling off. It cannot fall off as long as it has these three. Losing Knock, Toxic, and Defog are tough. We love those support moves. Doesn't matter. All you need is this. He'll do the job. He'll wall who you need to. You turn out. Give him an Eye of Papa Berry if you want. Like, it doesn't matter. You can do all that cheese stuff. Swords Dance offensive doesn't sound bad at all. However, because it lost Rock Polish, you can't boost your speed, so I don't understand why you would run an offensive Swords Dancing Landorus T instead of something like Rapid Spin Bulk Upgrade Tusk. And for the Terra option, I like Terra Ground so you can buff your Earthquake. I think that'll help when stuff like Clefable comes back, or if Skeledirge turns into a Fairy type. Maybe if you Terra into a Ground type, you're able to barely get the 2-hit KO and that sort of thing. So I would say Terra Ground is definitely worth the shout. Yeah, so that's for those two. Final, let me put this back to Tornadus T. Doesn't look good with King Gambit messing up this scene. Final Therian, Thundurus, Tizzle. Thundurus loses Defog, Superpower, and Weather Ball. Doesn't change that much besides the fact that it was run under the rain. Dude, I'm going to be honest with you in regards to Thundurus. The special attack is good. The coverage is good. The ability is good. You know what's better? This guy is unironically better. 105 special attack. Yes, it's quite a bit weaker, but the speed is hella good. This thing is faster than so much shit. First of all, it's faster than Meowscarada. Hurricane, Volswitch, it's doing the same thing. Yeah, it doesn't get Focus Blast and Grass Knot. Dude, who cares? I'm being dead ass. I would rather run Kilowattrel than Thundurus T. However, we'll see when the metagame develops if I do change my mind. For now, though, oh, and it gets competitive in the Landorus T meta? Good day, Thundurus T. I'm not using you. I'm using this, and I'm smoking everybody. Kilowatt's better. That's my agency hot take. If you don't believe me, I don't have time to explain it to you. And then we have the OGs. These two will be lower tier. There's no like going against that. These two are gonna be lower tier. UU or RU. They don't gain nothing new. They're both fun. They both nasty plotted up. You know, having a good time, but they're gonna be lower tier. They're not fast enough to defeat the metagame. Nasty plot with Thundurus, and then Shampoo comes in to do 200% minimum with Icicle Crash. Is not gonna work. I do think Thundurus can have a cool position going for Prankster Thunder Waves. You know, there are a lot of fast Pokemon, but again, think about the Pokemon you want to Thunder Wave. Golden Go, which you cannot, and then what's the other dude? Qianpao, who's a Dark type, so your Prankster Thunder Wave will just fail. So I don't think that's going to be that good. And then Torn, why the hell would you run Torn when there's a Torn T? And then the final big bad boss. This joint right here, this needs to get banned. I don't care. It's just good that they didn't give it a Hurricane. Otherwise, we would have had to go to Game Freak Studios and do a strike because, dude, what do y'all even be on? We go at Landorus. It's going to have Life Orb. It's going to take use of Sheer Force, and it's going to have Earth Power. It now gets Nasty Plot, which was a truly criminal decision by Game Freak. I personally am running this set. You know what we call this? God Tusk. Not Great Tusk, God Tusk. Now, Great Tusk thinks that he runs around with his little bulk up, close combat, headlong rush, doing some sweeps. This is God Tusk, the special equivalent. We're going to Nasty Plot. We're going to Rock Polish, and then we're going to literally kill everybody with Earth Power and Focus Blast. Brothers, sisters, look at the tier list and tell me what beats this shit. After one boost, it doesn't need to hit both. First of all, Landorus is a bulky Pokemon. It can very well get both a Rock Polish and a Nasty Plot up. Let's also not forget that Screens is at its best it's ever been, with Grimmsnarl putting them up so easily and Parting Shotting out. I don't see a world in which Landorus does not get up 2 boosts if you're running a Screens team. So much stuff is going to get packed. My +2 Focus Blast is going to shred Ting Lu. All unaware guys get capped. Skeledirge has to Terra, dead. Clodsire has to Terra, still dead. They're both getting to it. Well, not Dirge. Claude actually probably lives too, if it Terras into literally anything that's not weak to ground. Dondozo, get the fuck out of here. Like, it's Landorus, this set is going to be broken. Pretty sure this is getting banned. If I had to make a prediction, this is absolutely getting banned. I don't see a world in which this can stick around. It still has its other options, Psychic, Sludge Wave, Stealth Rock, etc., etc. I don't know why you'd run those over this set. In my opinion, this does everything you need. You can even go Terra Fighting as well. The only issue is that Focus Blast is a shit coverage move, but who cares? This is going to be the set that gets it banned, though. Just watch. And with that, we have the genies basically summed up. I think Tornadus T and Landorus T will obviously be top tier metagame threats. Landorus T far more than Torn. I think Torn losing Defog Knock is a lot worse than it is for Landorus T. And then Landorus I think, is straight up getting banned like it's been in the previous generations. I don't see a world in which they gave this shit Nasty Plot and now it's randomly not broken. No amount of Terra or new Pokemon can stop what this was. This is Genesect to me, like, in terms of how broken it is. Genesect is a Pokemon that always gets banned the second it's released after like 48 hours because they always do the test and they're like, dude, this is just too broken. Same shit with this. Special attack is already off out the gate at 500 thanks to Life Orb and Sheer Force. It doesn't make sense. This is like Chi-Yu number 2. Doesn't make sense to keep this in the tier. It's very likely going to get banned, is my opinion. So let's keep it pushing. So we got rid of those guys. Now we have, Meloetta and the Hisuians. Alright, so we'll put them all together. Meloetta and the Hisuians. Okay, and that will conclude our Generation 5 breakdown. So, first we're going to talk about Meloetta. Let me go see if Meloetta got anything good. It does not look like Meloetta learns anything new. That is most sad. This is a Pokemon that I've always really liked, guys. The design is awesome. The stat distribution isn't bad by any means. 77 defense and attack are kind of shit, but the special attack and speed are not bad at all. The Spadef is also fantastic. Normal Psychic means you're immune to ghost type moves. I even tried to make this thing work in Gen 8 at one point because I was like, dude, it can live Draco Meteor from Paul and Deuce. No, bro, it was not Shanae at all. Like, this thing, I tried my best to make him Shimon and it could not do anything. It also has that really cool Meloetta P form, which you use Relic Song and then you turn it into this super speedy thing with 128 attack. But again, even this is not able to do anything thanks to Golden Go's release. Golden Go is basically the greatest pack smoker you can ask for this. Doesn't even get Mystical Fire as a special type. Yeah, we're going to say no to Meloetta. If you can't even beat the Mon that has the most usage in the meta, like, well, I guess that's Tusk. But if you can't beat Golden Go, and by not beat, I mean you can't even touch it. Like, you're immediately forced out. It can't even go for its Relic Song. I don't think there's really a point in running Meloetta. The lower tiers may make use of it. It's always pretty good in, like, RU and stuff with choice specs due to that good special attack. Hyper Voice, Psychic, Focus Blast, Trick, all that stuff. But it's not going to cut it in OU. I'm just keeping it real. Meloetta's not going to cut it. Now let's talk about all those Hisuians that were there. So we had the Samurott Hisui. We had the Lilligant as well. What else did we have? Let me take a good look. Zoroark, Braviary, and I believe the last would be Basculin Hisui, right? Basculin White Stripe. But we're just going to talk about the Bascule Legions when we get there. I'll put it there for now. So we do have a good amount to talk about with these dudes. I did talk about this in my Hisuian video. Go check that out if you haven't already. Great vid I did. Basically breaking down all these Hisuians and which ones I'm most excited for. But this, let's talk about it again because we are getting closer and closer to Pokemon Home release and having these amazing Pokemon on our side. So Sharpness, Samurott Hisui. If you guys don't know what this thing does, it has a new move called Ceaseless Edge. Now, Ceaseless Edge is a 65 base power move. However, because Sharpness, which we've seen on Gallade this generation, Sharpness got boosted. It means 1.5x power to all your sharp-ass moves. So you gotta understand, this is not 65. It's actually 97.5. Samurott is the greatest recipient of this ability. It has moves like Sacred Sword. It has Night Slash as well. I believe it has Aqua Cutter too. Like the amount of sharpness boosted moves it has are off the chain. Megahorn is boosted, I think. Or did I make that up? No, X Scissor, not Megahorn. X Scissor is boosted as well. And it learns X Scissor. Like, this thing, they really made sure that all of its moves would get affected by sharpness. So for me, I personally thought that Choice Scarf would be the way to go. I don't think Swords Dance is worth using on this. 85 speed is not good. 108 attack is just okay. It's definitely not that great. It's just okay. But I don't think Swords Dancing makes any sense with Samurai. You're going to get forced out very quickly. And then what? You're going to Aqua Jet off 108 attack? Please do not waste your time. The whole point of this is Ceaseless Edge. This move is 97.5 base power. Stab. So definitely not weak. Dark coverage, right? Meaning it has the best neutral coverage versus the whole game. And it sets up a spike every time it's used. That's the reason I'm so excited for Samurott Hisui. Even if you make a misplay, right? They switch into their Fairy type, their Clefable, use Ceaseless Edge. Ah, shit, you only did 15%. Who gives a fuck? You got up a spike. You're now in a very great position. Even if you only did 15% to the Clefable and now you have to switch, Clefable doesn't get Rapid Spin. There's a spike up against them now. So it's going to force really good mind games with that. I can't wait for Ceaseless Edge. Rest of the moves are really just there to make use of the ability. This turns into a 135 base power fighting move, which is excellent. for hitting Steel-type Pokemon. Night Slash, another stab-type move, but, I mean, while we have Ceaseless Edge, I don't really understand the point of Night Slash. I guess it has crit rate, which really cannot be understated. What else? I mean, you can always run X-Scissor. Hit the Grass types pretty hard. I mean, you might as well. Ooh, it does get knockoff, though. Hold on. This thing really does have quite a few different options you can run. I really wouldn't ignore knockoff. Even if it is the same base power as Ceaseless Edge, removing an item is always appreciated. Does it get Trick or Switcheroo? Ah, damn, it doesn't. Anyways, Aqua Cutter. We've seen this on Veluza. High crit rate. And I actually think Razor Shell... Ooh, Razor Shell actually might be better, because even if it's 95 accuracy, it's 5 base power stronger, and 50% chance to lower the defense by 1. Oh, nah, Razor Shell? So that means this is 112.5 base power, and it can drop your... Ooh, this thing is going to be a menace. Cannot wait to use Hisuian Samurott. I do think it's going to be a lot of fun. The speed tier is good, too, at 85 base speed. It is just 2 points faster than Golden Go. So this is a Scarfer. It does check Golden Go as a Scarfer quite well. Knock that thing out with a Ceaseless Edge. Put up spikes while doing it. Can't complain. Look at the rest of the meta. I mean, you're faster than Pult. You knock that shit out. Great Tusk is going to knock you out with a fighting type move, but at least you do allow with Razor Shell. And then the rest of the Pokemon, you look at it. I just like that if they do want to go into their Amoonguss, their Dondozo, it doesn't matter. You can always just go for a Ceaseless Edge. You don't do a lot of damage, but you put up a spike. And that alone is game-changing and makes this a great Pokemon. So I think Samurott is going to have a nice spot in OU. Will it stay OU? We'll see. It's still not a godlike stat distribution, but we'll see. This move is awesome. I think Scarf's the best set. I don't know what else you'd run. Banded maybe, but I would advise against Swords Dance. I don't think it's worth it. Just run an all-out attacking set is what I think. Next up, we have Lilligant. Mad excitement around this Pokemon. Has this new move, Victory Dance. Raises the user's attack, defense, and speed by 1 stage. Basically, this is the physical Quiver Dance, like we were saying. Turn this dude into a pretty strong Pokemon. Let it be known. So ability-wise, you got Hustle, Chlorophyll, and Leaf Guard. Chlorophyll and Leaf Guard mean that with Torkoal's Sun, this can be pretty good. It also has access to Solar Blade, making it an even stronger option if you do go for a Sun team. But for this, I'm going to use Hustle because I don't want to say that you need to use this with Torkoal or anything. Item, I go with Wide Lens if I'm going with Hustle because I don't want to miss my attacks. Hustle does drop all your moves by 20%. It gets really dicey, right? You really don't want to run a Lilligant. You really don't want to, Victory Dance with your Lilligant. Waste a turn doing that. Use your Terra and then go for an attack and then it misses. So Wide Lens can kind of mitigate that. Gets access to Close Combat, Leaf Blade, and then finally, the last move is where I seem to have some trouble with this Pokemon, guys. Because you do have your Dual Stab, right? That's pretty good. But what is your last move going to be? You need to hit Golden Go. If you can't hit Golden Go, it's going to one-hit KO you and make it rain. This thing is not bulky, right? It's going to one-hit KO you and make it rain. So I'm thinking the only way you're able to get past that is with Terra Blast Fire or Terra Blast Ground. Now, I decided that we go with Terra Blast Fire. And if you go with Terra Blast Fire, well then forget about CC. We're just going to ignore CC. I know. It's a little crazy. And we're going to go with Ice Spinner. Now, in my head, this is the most perfect of perfect coverages. I think this covers everything you need. Because if you don't run Ice Spinner, how the hell are you going to hit the flying types? Right? If you do go with Close Combat, well, now you got a set that's walled by Dragonite. But then you're like, okay, well, why can't we just run Ice Spinner? Well, now you're walled by Golden Go. This thing is going to have trouble picking the right moves. Which is exactly why I was thinking this is like the most perfect of coverage moves. However, lacking CC just doesn't feel right to me. It really doesn't feel right. I don't know, though. I do think that this is your most perfect coverage option, though. So, we'll see. Anyways, Lilligant's going to be a lot of fun. Victory Dance up, Boost up, Grass Fighting. We have a lot of these, but hey, I'm very excited to use this. Lilligant, for those of you who don't know, the regular edition from Gen 5, it was one of my favorite Pokemon ever, design-wise. I just loved it, and I really liked what it did. Sleep Powder, Quiver Dance. It really only had one role ever in previous generations. It hopes it hits Sleep Powder, and then it hopes it can Quiver Dance and sweep you, but now that this thing, you know, has this cool Hisuian form, the physical side, great coverage too, we'll see. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. It also gets access to, what, Defog? So, I don't know, Healing Wish too. Damn. So the support options are definitely good. You definitely can't ignore it. And then in Chlorophyll with the Sun, you can even run Swords Dance. Whoa. Not a bad option whatsoever. And then also, the regular Lilligant, I just want to say that this thing also gets a buff because it can now Terra Blast instead of Hidden Power Fire. Did it get anything else? You're so ass. Okay, that's enough about Lilligant. Zoroark H. This guy right here, ooh. I'm excited. Now, we did unfortunately get trolled by Game Freak. We were told that it was going to have higher stats than the regular Zoroark, but unfortunately, these things are the exact same, as you can see. Hold on. Oops. You see this? They have the exact same stat distribution. There is no difference. It really only sucks because 105 speed isn't that great. I would have loved 110. That way you're faster than stuff like Iron Shreds and whatnot, but we'll still take it. Illusion is the big thing here. Normal Ghost Illusion. That gives you 3 immunities off the normal Ghost, and then you have Illusion, which means you can turn into another Pokemon and fake even more immunities. So let's take it next to Braviary, for example, right? Zoroark with normal Ghost is immune to normal moves, it's immune to Ghost moves, and it's immune to fighting moves. You can bait quite a lot of shit, right? You have Braviary, which has its own immunities, like ground and that kind of thing. Zoroark in general will just cause a good problem. The mind games will be really, really obnoxious with this. We go from move pool. Got some good ones. Let me put the category to special, and let me sort by power. So, Focus Blast, Flamethrower, Hyper Voice. It has Psychic, it has Sludge Bomb, it has Shadow Ball, and then this move, Bitter Malice. This move is pretty fucking dope, in my opinion, and it definitely should be used on Zoroark. We got Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is 80 base power. This Bitter Malice joint is 75 base power. If you guys didn't read what this does, 100% chance to lower the target's attack by 1. So basically, as long as Zoroark goes first, the opponent is hitting you with a -1 attack. Defenses are not that good on Zoroark, right? 60-60. However, if you're dropping the opposing Pokemon's attack stat by 1, well, you can live whatever they go for. Let's think about Zoroark versus a Landorus T. Landorus T is going to hit you with a full-powered Earthquake. Shit might do like 95%. If you stay in and go for Bitter Malice, they're now a -1. They do 60%. You came out on top in such a situation. So I do think Bitter Malice is going to be great. I think Terra Ghost is the way to do it. Because you want this move to be stronger because it's damn weak. But who knows what they're going to run. I like Focus Blast and Flamethrower because you got to hit the steel types. Hisuian Ursaring, aka Ursaluna, is pulling up. And I want to have Focus Blast just to smoke that thing immediately. I like this. I like this a lot. The triple immunity is going to come into play, especially when you pair it with other stuff. Illusion has always been one of those abilities where people are pretty polarized on Zoroark. Either they're like, I hate Zoroark, it's not even good. And then some people are like, I love Zoroark. When you give me that illusion, I don't know what to do. I just get too powerful. I feel like people go back and forth. Me personally, I like Zoroark. I wouldn't say that I'm some beast with illusion. Like, I haven't used it enough in the past where I'm like, oh, look at all these videos I have where I totally trick them. Like, we do have a good amount of views on some of these vids. Like, there's one vid that me and Joe did from Gen 8. Go see it if you haven't. We got to the top of the ladder with, we got 2000s with Zoroark plus Regieleki, and that was in a phenomenal core. So we're definitely going to see similar stuff, but I'm looking forward to Zoroark H. It's going to be one of the best. Finally, folks, we have Braviary H. Now, Braviary H, I like them. Design-wise, I love it. And the shiny, if you haven't seen the shiny, come on. This Zero Dark 30, look at this. This is shiesty. If I saw this sweeping outside, looking around, I'd go inside. I'd hide. But obviously, the non-shiny form looks a lot less scary. You know, it looks like a domesticated little bird. This looks like missiles are about to come out of its face. Like, this is scary as shit. Anyways, item-wise, ability-wise, it's got 2 good ones. Sheer Force and Tinted Lens. These are both fantastic. Move pool, you're going to have the Hurricane. It has this move called Esper Wing. 100% chance to raise the user's speed by 1 and a high crit ratio. You would run this joint with Tinted Lens because I believe Sheer Force would stop this from raising your speed, which is most sad. Roost, Calm Mind. This is what I think for Tinted Lens. I don't think you need any of the coverage options. This thing gets access to Heat Wave and whatnot, but you don't need to hit super effectively against steals when your moves are already neutral against steals due to your ability. Item-wise, you either go Leftovers or Heavy Duty Boots. I don't really know what they want to do, but personally, I'm probably just going with some type of bulkier set. Problem is that this thing's speed is so fucking terrible. Like, super terrible. Probably like 2/3. Dude, I would want to be faster than Great Tusk after a Rapid Spin. I believe Great Tusk hits 451. So I'd have this much speed. And then I'd probably have hella HP to hit 405. Why? Arbitrary. Let's go down. Let's hit 391. More arbitrary. And then we put some special attacks so we're not automatically beyond weak. And then a modest nature because fuck it. Maybe timid is better. Regardless, I don't care. This is an arbitrary spread and people will figure out a better spread in due time. Tinted Lens is going to run this. Esper Wing boosts the speed by +1 every time you use it. It's pretty strong too, 80 base power. Tinted Lens means there's no such thing as a resist. Stuff like Corviknight is not going to beat you. You're just going to Calm Mind up and smoke it. However, this Pokemon will still lose to Dirge and that kind of thing if it runs Tinted Lens. Skeledirge is still going to come in and live that hit with ease, which is where we enter round 2, Sheer Force Life Orb. This turns this guy into a super Dawn Dada. I think this is going to be pretty fun too. This is like no bullshit. You go max special attack, you go max speed, and you start hitting with those Sheer Force boosted Hurricanes. This is Landorus Eye at home. I don't know what other special moves it gets. Heat Wave, what else can be used? Shadow Ball? Shadow Ball's not bad. You know, you get a move that's accurate versus Golden Go instead of Heat Wave. Not the worst. Yeah, Oko Dragapult confirmed too. I don't know. I feel like Psychic already Oko's Dragapult. This is going to be a fun Pokemon. I can see a cheese set working with dual screen support. You know, all that Earthworm shit. This seems like the type of Pokemon that would... This is like a spot throw at home. This is a spot throw, but it's hard to use. Yeah, good way of looking at it. A spot throw, but harder to use. We'll see you in probably RU Braviary. And then finally, we got Basculin. Lil bro, you're bad. We're going to be seeing Basculegion more. Not really any... I mean, it has adaptability. Has Wave Crash, no? So this is pretty fun. The speed's not bad. 98, 92 attack. It's definitely not garbage. But as far as Floatzel existing, that gives us a staunch competitor. And that is going to be Gen 5. Alright, let's see if we can get this vid done in under 2 hours. Holy shiz, Gen 6. Oh, Gen 6 gave us nothing but bouses, it looks like. So, Gen 6, we have the starters. We have Carbink and Diancie. And we have Hoopa, Volcanion, little Hisuian joints, and then Vivillon. So, let's start off with the starters. We have Chestnut. We have Delphox. And we have Greninja. So let's talk about Greninja first, because Greninja is actually coming out in the next few days with the, what's it called? The Terra Raid Poison, whatever it's called, release. Greninja's releasing in the next 4 days is basically what I'm trying to say. Protean is what you will see the most of on this. It still has amazing coverage options, Ice Beam, Hydro Pump. It really doesn't matter if Protean took a nerf with Greninja. While it does suck that you're not able to switch up your moves and get the stab boost each time, you're still able to hit Mons on the switch. Stuff like Toxapex is still not going to be able to take extra sensories on the switch because you're going to turn into the Psychic type. Ice Beam and Hydro rounded off with amazing coverage. Usually I would run Hidden Power Fire last, but obviously we're in Gen 9 without any more Hidden Powers. So maybe I would honestly run Terra Blast Fire or good old Reliable. I could really see this just doing its thing like it always does. Why would this not be a premier set? Oh, I just realized it's blocked. I've been recording for a while, my bad. But anyways, yeah, Greninja Life Orb, why would this not be the premier set? Ice Beam, Hydro, Extra Sensory, Spikes. Yes, it is going to be checked by some things, but for the most part, I think that this is going to make use of its amazing speed, 377. It is just a little bit slower than Meowscarada, I do keep that in mind. But the coverage is good. It doesn't need HP Fire to win. Hydro Pump is still very strong, able to 2-hit KO Golden Go, smokes Tusk, Ice Beam kills Dragapult, Hydro Oko's Iron Valiant, I'm pretty sure. Like, this thing is not a weak Pokemon by any means with 103, and the fact that its moves are some of the better stab moves in that category. So, I think Gren's going to be pretty good with this set. You can run a lot of shit, though. Last Spikes, T-Spikes, Taunt, U-Turn. You can even run Terra Blast Fire if you want a final move, and you do want that that type of coverage, but I don't know. I don't really think Terra Blast is the best on Gren, just because the coverage is already good enough to where... I would probably just end up going with Spikes. When in doubt, just do Spikes, is my opinion. When in doubt, just do Spikes. Because that way, if it hurts your mind in terms of, shit, how do I predict the switch and what are they going to do? At least you got up a Spike, so you don't have to worry too much. And then the other end of Greninja is Battle Bond. Now, this is cool, and I think it's going to sweep a lot of people in the beginning, because people don't really know how Battle Bond works. You get +1 everything. And even if they know how it works, I think people are quick to just say, who cares if it gets +1 everything? That's still not as good as the regular Ash Gren, which is true. The old Ash Gren turning into the Ash Gren form was a freak of nature. Like, that was one of Pokemon's most insane decisions. Let's just look back at this thing's stats so we can think, why was this even legal in Gen 7? Look at this. 145 attack, 153 special attack, 132 speed. Like, what is this? This is like some Deoxys attack bullshit. I don't even know why this was in Gen 7. All I know is that I spammed it so much in tournament and I would smoke everybody with this. Now, the reason I brought up this old Ash Greninja form is because the way it used Water Shuriken is when you do become the Ash form, you always get 3 hits and the base power is raised. With the new version, you just get a +1 special attack, and speed. Water Shuriken does not change. Even in the Ash form with the +1 to those stats, it's still only a hitting 2 to 5 move, and it's 15 base power. So in my opinion, Water Shuriken has been gutted beyond repair. I do think it has been gutted beyond repair. You can run it on your Protean set with Life Orb, but as for Battle Bond, if you're +1 on all your stats, who the hell is faster than a +1 speed Greninja? Do not use Water Shuriken. I know someone's going to think, no, we can loaded dice it up. I don't think it's worth it. You guys know I love loaded dice, but I just don't think it's worth it. As far as multi-hit moves go, 15 is shit. 15 is seriously shit. I know it goes first, so that's pretty dope, but 15 is way too bad, especially if you're not boosting with Protean Life Orb or whatever. The best way you can go with Battle Bond, like, if you do want to use Shuriken, is, yeah, Terra-type Water and just praying that, you know, it's strong enough. But I don't know. I think Water Shuriken has taken a pretty hefty nerf with this, guys, and we probably won't see it as much as we used to. So that's something I really did want to point out, that Water Shuriken did take a good nerf. That being said, though, you can still run some physical stuff. It has access to acrobatics, U-turn, low kick, gunk shot, whatever the case is, but still going to be the same old Gren doing the same old shit. Yeah, Delphox. Now, I think Delphox got a new move. It got Nasty Plot and it got access to Focus Blast. Dope. Congratulations, Fox. Yeah, this thing is worse than Armarouge in OU. It is. Armarouge actually has a purpose in OU thanks to weak armor and that move, Armor Cannon. But Delphox's speed is pretty fun. I see this thing being cool in lower tiers. Nothing really else to say. It's going to Nasty Plot, and then it's going to go for special attacking moves. 400 different Pokemon do this. Chestnut. I believe Chess got good moves. Yeah, Body Press and Close Combat. Body Press is the big one, because this thing would love to have Body Press. It's a fully physical defense Mon that wants to make use of that great stat. So, I see Body Press, Spikes, Synthesis, Spiky Shield, that type of thing working out. But other than that, this is just going to be a lower tier Mon. It's really just Greninja who we should be giving the attention to, and that's why we did. So, that basically sums up them. Who else? Alright, Diancie, Hoopa, Volcanion. Let's talk about those bros, because I really do quite like those. Diancie, Volcanion. Well, Diancie is not a Mega. I don't know why I Mega'd his ass up. Diancie. And then, what's that joint called? What was the last one? Oh, Hoopa, right. Hoopa. So, Hoopa was banned in Gen 7, but it ran around... Like, I don't know, it wasn't even there in Gen 8, was it? No, it wasn't. Otherwise, I would have used that shit. Of course I would have used that shit. I would have never been annoyed with Melmetal because I would have just hyperspaced it in next week. Anyways, Hoopa was banned in Gen 6. That's what it was banned in. It was banned in Gen 6 because it was just too fucking powerful. Hoopa's back now. There's no pursuit, so that's great for it. This will be a lot of fun. Dark-type Pokemon, as we've talked about so many times, they just keep winning and winning and winning and winning. What did Hoopa get? Anything new? Does not look like it did get anything new, but it really doesn't need anything new when its fucking coverage was out of this world. Hyperspace Fury, the greatest move of all time. Breaks Protect, and it's 100 base power. I just always default to putting Hyperspace on first because that's my favorite move to run on this guy, but you cannot underrate the special set. I'm just excited to have this back. Us not having this in Gen 8 sucked. I think it's a fan favorite. I hope it's a fan favorite. Its attacks are so good. This is a literal juggernaut. This is like what Slacking wishes it was. All those shithead Pokemon like Slacking and whatnot, they wish they did what this does, but nobody can do what the boss does. I like Specs a lot, but we're going to see Nasty Plot too. The fact that you can Terra Dark now and just flinch and kill everybody, bring your Garganacl out, low bro. Bring your Clodsire. Bring all those special walls out. Watch what happens. I am looking forward to this. Truly, I'm looking forward to this. Matter of fact, go bring that Golden Go out. Go for Make It Rain. Nice 50%. Oh, how much did my Dark Pulse do? 250 minimum? Fantastic. Cannot wait for Hoopa. Only bad thing is, it's still slow as shit at 80 base speed. Slower than Tusk, is going to get one hit KO'd by close combat. But whatever. That's just one small thing. Hoopa's going to run the scene. Just wait. Just wait. Cannot wait for this guy. Physical and special are going to be amazing. Hyperspace, Zen Headbutt. It had the options physically. It still does. Don't worry about that. Volcanion. Now, does Volcanion still get Defog? Damn it, it does not. What does it get? Volcanion loses Toxic, Defog, and Roar. Yay! Nerfing my guy for no reason. Likely we're going to see Heavy Duty Boots, just because it is a weak to Stealth Rock Pokemon, but when you compare it to some of the Pokemon in the meta, it's not bad. Nothing in the metagame is still able to take a Steam Eruption, still has that Earth Power coverage for Toxapex, so it's not walled, And yeah, I don't think Volcanion will be a bad Pokemon by any means. It does suck that it lost Defog though. I did like using this as a removal. But the physical defense is still good. The HP is not bad at all. You're able to tank stuff like Champao really, really easily and probably scare it back. Iron Valiant is not able to 1-hit KO you unless it specs Thunderbolt, and you can just knock that thing out with a Steam Eruption of your own. So I think Volcanion is going to be cool. You know, it's just a hard Pokemon to switch into. That's basically been its theme in the last few generations. It's a difficult Pokemon to switch into, but it's not some over-the-edge, crazy Giga Threat like Uber's quality, right? Speed is bad. The typing is great, Fire, Water, but while it's great offensively, defensively you're also kind of, you know, weak to ground, electric, etc., stuff like that. So Volcanion will be a good Pokemon, but that's just that. It'll be a good breaker. And then we have Diancie. Now, Diancie, I believe, got some shit. It got Spikes, yes. So I do think Spikes is cool. Harbink is what? Diancie Jr., so we can talk about that too. Spikes on him too, but Diancie's probably just going to get up hazards. And then, I mean, the moves Diancie has are good. Damn, no more Mystical Fire is a really big killer. Earth Power, Body Press. I ran this set in Gen 8 with Assault Vest, if you guys remember, and it put in hella work. I can see it doing some stuff in Generation 9, but it's always going to be making use of Spikes. But don't sleep on this. Maybe, you know, your team needs a Fairy Typer. Maybe your team needs a Fairy Type, right? Because you're too weak to Dragon moves, and you're thinking, I can't use Ting-Lu. Boom, Diancie fit. Somehow Diancie was the better pick than Ting-Lu on your team. You don't know, but it could happen. So I don't want to count this Pokemon out. Diancie's stats are also really solid. Rock Fairy's a good typing. It can definitely see some type of potential with Spiking Set. So yeah, definitely do pay attention to that. All right, let me see what else we have. Hisuian Guy. Let's take a look, folks. Hisuian Evolug. Now, when I did my Hisuian vid and I talked about this, I said that this thing was going to be bad. And a lot of people, they did not like that. It gets this move, Mountain Gale. 30% chance to make the target flinch. Unfortunately, this thing's base speed is 5, so you'd have to run on a Trick Room team for it to get any mileage out of the flinching effect. Now, move pool wise, it's actually not that bad. It got some cool shit. Let me categorize it by physical real quick. Yeah. It's actually not bad, bros. It's actually really not bad. It gets Earthquake, it gets Stone Edge, it gets Body Press, it gets Heavy Slam, Crunch with Strong Jaw. We keep going through. Like, it definitely has options. Damn, too bad Fissure is illegal because I probably would have had good mileage out of Fissure. Definitely more mileage out of whatever the fuck else it has, but let me stop hating. The defense is very high. If we compare this to the old Avalugg, I believe our guy is 10 base points faster and then took a special defense drop, which is kind of insane because a special defense drop hurts it a lot more than just getting 10 base speed. You don't really gain much, but whatever. And its attack goes up 10 base points. This mon's bad because Ice Rock is 4 times weak to what? Steel, Fighting, and still weak to rocks. However, I'm going to use it, and it's going to have some fun on Trick Room. That's really all I can think of. If you're looking for a Rapid Spin Pokemon that gets away hazards and can recover, you should just use his brother, Avalugg, which is infinitely better because it doesn't have the Rock-type weakness to add. This should not be a Violite. Whoops. I don't know why I gave that shit a Violite. Should have given it heavy-duty boots. But yeah, this will be fun on a Trick Room team, but other than that, it will not have any use in OU. I mean, look at its dual stab. It's walled by... Sorry, I forgot to show it again. Look at its dual stab. It's walled by... What's it called? It's walled by Golden Go. It's just going to be an issue in that regard. Like, you can run Earthquake, but at that point, why are you running this as a spinner? You're just hurting yourself. If you want to run a spinner and you want to run Avalugg, just run the OG. Do not run Avalugg Hisuian because it's not going to do what the OG does. Well, both of these guys are mid, but this actually has a role in OU. Like this, for some teams, they cannot kill it when it Terra types. This can Terra type as well, so that it has one weakness. I don't want to, what's it called? Completely X that out. Like this could Terra into a Ghost type, and then it's actually quite hard to kill. But again, then you're using your Terra on a Avalugg, so I don't know. The defense is good, the HP is good, everything else is a big head scratcher, so I'm not going to give this thing too much credit. What was the other one? Oh yeah, Goodra H. Everybody wants Goodra H to be the truth. We just saw PokeMMD's hit video talking about the worst pseudo-legendary, and it was unfortunately Goodra. And I understand, Goodra is probably the worst pseudo-legendary. It never really had its place in the OU metagame where it did a lot of shit. It just always gets abused. But now we have a Steel Ground Goodra, alright? Ability-wise, we have Shell Armor, Gooey, and Sap Sipper. These are all pretty decent abilities. I like Shell Armor so we don't get hacked, but Gooey is also pretty decent, so I don't know. Item-wise, probably leftovers. What did it get? Let's see. Flash Cannon and Body Press. And it doesn't get Shell Armor. It gets Overcoat, apparently. Overcoat's actually Heat, then. Or did it become Shell Armor from Overcoat? Probably became Shell Armor from Overcoat. Whatever. The point is, this thing gets Flash Cannon, Body Press, which is pretty nice. Good stab move with Flash Cannon, then Body Press to make use of the defense. The big sad thing for me with this is there's no Stealth Rock on Goodra. Why, bro? He's a Steel type. Dialga Steel Dragon. What's the other guy that starts with a D? You know what I'm talking about? The Steel Dragon guy, he starts with a D. What's his name? Dude, what's his name? I have to find out. What's his name? This dude, Duraludon. Not the G-Max. But anyway, him and Dialga are Steel Dragons, and they get access to Stealth Rock. So why did Game Freak decide, Epic Troll, let's not give it to Goodra? Very rude. I think it would have loved it. This thing does have access to Life Dew, which is some form of mediocre recovery. I don't think it's worth it. Move pool's still good, though. The same from last gen. Draco, Steel moves, Fire moves, Thunderbolt, all that good stuff. I can see Assault Vest being really damn annoying. Switch into Golden Go, take literally 20%, and then what are they going to do when I go for a Flamethrower, Draco, Flash Cannon, Thunderbolt? This is literally Assault Vest Slowking Galar version 2.0. That's actually what this is. And they're both weak to ground too, which is quite funny. We look at the tier list. Smokes Golden Go. It beats Pult Special really easily. Specs Pult gets owned by this. Tusk will beat you, so you got to watch out for that. The speed's shit on this. Espathra. You can beat Espathra if you have Heavy Slam, I think. Don't quote. That's something I have to do calcs on. Shen will goob you, so you have to be Fizz Def to beat Shen. Iron Valiant, if it's special, will not Oko you, and you can Oko back with Flash Cannon. So yeah, I don't think any special attacker can beat this thing 1v1, even if it has super effective move. Like Specs Valiant will not Oko this with Focus Blast. I don't even have to calc it to tell you there's no way. We're just way too bulky to die to a special attack. Even Specs Valiant Focus Blast with the stab and all that, it's not going to kill. No fucking chance. So yeah, Goodra Hisuian, I'm going to be using it with Assault Vest. I think it's going to be the guy with that. And then finally, on this Gen 6 list, we do have Vivillon. Interesting. Vivillon is Vivillon, right? We have so many variations of this Pokemon. All the forms come back, rather. Okay, never mind. Vivillon's already out. I'm ignoring that. Vivillon, it's going to do what it always did, though. It's going to Quiver Dance, it's going to sleep you, and you're going to be mad. And you're going to be mad as shit. That's really it. Let us continue. Gen 70. Gen 70 has just a couple guys. So, let me put those in real quick. Ooh, oops. Magearna. Hisuian. What's his name? Decidueye. And then regular Hisui. And then regular Decidueye. So, Magearna actually got some good stuff. What was the good stuff it got? Well, the good stuff in question, my viewer, my good, unsuspecting viewer. Spikes. Why? Why, dude? Why? Why didn't you just give it to Goodra? Why, Game Freak? Good thing they didn't give it Stealth Rock, because that would have been out of this world. All this does is turn the support set a lot nastier. Why in the world would you give bro Spikes? How does that even make sense? Why? Why would they do that? Magearna lost no moves and only gained Spikes, which is the most hilarious troll of all time. This thing was banned in Generation 8 because they thought that the spec set was just a little too overpowered. Well, welcome to Gen 9, where it's going to be round 2 with this thing. It's literally going to be round 2. Even without Z moves, it's going to be round 2. I don't think Magearna can ever be healthy because the moves it learns are all fucking lame and cheap. Calm Mind, Shift Gear, still has its Pain Split, has Ice Beam, has Thunderbolt. Like, dude. This Mon right here, nightmares. Thunder Wave, still has Volt Switch, still has Trick Room, Thunder Wave, bruh. Aura Sphere, like the amount of things you can do on this is unlimited. Absolutely endless possibilities with such a Pokemon. I think we're going to see Specs a lot. I think we're going to see the setup set a lot. If we look at the tier list, I mean, forget the sets Magearna can run. We already know that this thing can hit on any way special form. Like, it's on the special attacking side, this thing can do whatever it wants. And even its support set with Thunder Wave, Pain Split got even better thanks to having Spikes. So let's look at the S rank. Golden Go gets packed up by Magearna. I'm going to set up on that joint and then kill it with a +3 Thunderbolt. Or I'm going to have Pain Split for when it switches out and I Pain Split on somebody else. Dragapult, set up on. Great Tusk. Great Tusk does beat you if it has Headlong Rush. It's not going to kill you with Earthquake. If you guys don't remember, this thing's defenses are broken. 80, 115, 115. Not able to be KO'd by a super effective move from full HP. It like very rarely happens with this thing. You need like a Specs Fire Blast from a fire type to knock this thing out. Otherwise, Like, I can already tell you, Great Tusk Earthquake is never going to kill this, even at max attack, unless the Magearna is 0 HP, 0 defense. You got to have Headlong Rush. And otherwise, you're going to get Fleur Cannon back. I mean, Ting Lu also just gets Fleur Cannon, 1-hit KO'd. Roaring Moon, King Gambit, Valiant, D-Knight, all of them are going to get Fleur Cannon out the game. Clodsire is the best switch into this thing, but it's just going to get Ice Beam, and because it has a 10% chance to freeze, it is not in the Clodsire user's favor at all. They have to keep clicking recover as you keep on fishing with Ice Beam. You get your leftovers recovery back. God forbid you Terra into something else and it can't hit you with Earthquake. It's going to be an issue. Magearna as a whole is going to be one of the best Pokemon. I don't really have to say too much more than that. This is a Pokemon that is designed the same way that Landorus, Eye, and Genesect are designed. The typing, the stats, and the move pool are too damn good. Not to mention this broken-ass ability, but again, they're all three the same Pokemon. They were created in such a way that no matter the metagame needs to change in such a way. Like Generation 10 would have to bring a new mechanic that makes everybody so strong for Pokemon like Magearna, Landorus, Eye, and Genesect to not be broken. That's what I think. But yeah, Magearna's likely broken, but we'll have to let the metagame evolve. And Terrastalize does change a lot. So let's talk about Decidueye. I always call him Decidueye Hisui. His name is Decidueye Hisuian form. This thing is epic Shamonin. 112 attack, very solid. The speed is not very good. 60 speed is for the last decade. However, 88, 80, 95 is not bad at all on the defensive side. Grass Fight, we've seen this before with Breloom. We've seen it with the Hisuian Lilligant that will be releasing as well. It's very good defensively. You wall Earthquake, you wall Stone Edge. That alone is great for taking on ground-type Pokemon. Ability-wise, you're going to go with Scrappy. When I did my Hisuian vid last time, I actually did not know that it learned Scrappy, and I thought that this thing was going to get checked by Golden Go. How foolish I was, because Golden Go gets straight up one-hit KO'd by Choice Band Close Combat, which is insane. Other than that, this thing does have really good physical moves, I think. Let's take a look. Triple Arrows is its signature move. If you don't know what this move does, take a seat and let me tell you what it does. High crit rate, 50% chance to drop the opponent's defense by 1, and a 30% chance to flinch. This thing's speed is not good. However, when you max it out, it's faster than all them Corviknights, all them Dirges, all them defensive things. I mean, Dirge you can't hit with triple arrows if it doesn't Terra. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, what kind of move is this, bros? High crit rate, chance to drop the defense 50% at that, and then 30% chance to flinch as well. What do they be smoking at Game Freak HQ? Amazing. Anyways, has Leaf Blade as well, and then your final move can be U-Turn, Sucker Punch, Shadow Sneak, even Knockoff. This thing does have quite a few great options. Even Rock Tomb if you really want, but yeah, this thing does have a lot of good ones. I think personally, I would run Sucker Punch. Knockoff is great, but I mean, fuck it. I feel like I'm already going to hit the Ghost types with Close Combat thanks to Scrappy. I don't really care about knocking off Pokemon's items as much as I would want to Sucker Punch something faster than me. I feel like it would come down to that a lot. Setup-wise, I believe this thing gets Roost. It gets... Oh, it doesn't get Spike, but it gets Roost. Let me see what else it gets in the status. Defog is not bad. Bulk Up, Roost, Swords Dance, Synthesis. I don't think Swords Dance is worth it. Just go with Banded or All Out Attacker and hit hard thanks to Scrappy. This will be a good Pokemon. Like, this will literally be a decent Pokemon in OU. It's not going to be top of the metagame. I don't even know if it'll start in OU. It might be in UU. But, I mean, regardless, it's going to be a fun Pokemon to use. I can't sugarcoat it, though. It's going to have competition from Lilligant. It's going to have competition from Pokemon like Iron Valiant, which just fit the fighting type role better. And it's going to have competition from the Holy Great Tusk. So that's just something you have to accept. And then we have regular Decidueye. This is not going to be OU, just because it's Decidueye. I don't know if it got anything new. Let me check. It got, oh, this is the Decidueye Hisui. Does it get all the other moves? Does it get Close Combat and shit like that? No. Then forget about you. You're not doing anything in OU. You're going to be in lower tiers doing your thing with Nasty Plot, etc., etc. Finally, folks, let us go to the final Gen 8. I thought, hopefully, I could get this vid done in less than 2 hours, and then I saw that Gen 8 had literally everybody and their mom. So let us go and get into it now. So this really does have everybody. Let's first look at the starters. Well, Cinderace is already in, so I don't got to talk about him. Rillaboomon. Rillaboomon, if you don't know, this mon took a lot of L's. It lost Grassy Glide, it lost High Horsepower, and it lost Superpower. Yeah, dude, this is like... This, okay, I have to... This is out of this world. It gets knockoff, apparently. Okay, I hope so. But this is just... How can you lose all of these moves, my friends? How can you lose Grassy Glide? How can you lose Superpower? Why would they do that? And High Horsepower even. High Horsepower, you barely even use, but sometimes you need it. They said, fuck it, take that as well. So the lack of Superpower and Grassy Glide on this is the greatest ACL tear you could ask for. This is like if LeBron James woke up one morning and he was 5'3". Respectfully, like that is what happened to this shit. So anyways, this thing is not good anymore. Point blank. I don't know what else to tell you. Grassy Surge is a dope ability. Wood Hammer is still dope, but dude, I need to show you something just so you understand what you're working with now. This is your joint. This is your guy. This is your new guy. All right? This is your new guy that you're running. Does this look like the way Rillaboom was meant to be? What the fuck is this, bro? We beating the drums? Bruh. 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 This is our new guy? Bruh, what? I mean, I'm not hating too much. The speed is still good. But, dude, think about a great Tusk that bulked up in front of you as you switched in. You can't even pretend you have Grassy Glide and force it out. You're slower. You die to close combat. The end. Oh, Shenpao's in front of you, but you can Grassy Glide it? Cap. Go ahead and get Ice Sharded. Well, you were always going to get Ice Sharded. The point is, you can't... Well, I guess Ice Could Crash. Dragapult, you're not revenge killing that anymore. The fact that this guy doesn't have Glide is hilarious. Good day, sir. Good day. You will not... the agency has been looking forward to your demise. And we can say that... Pack Watch, good day. Inteleon, let me see what he got. Inteleon doesn't get shit. What? Come on. Come on. Inteleon is a cool mon. Show some love. I like this Pokemon. Intelligent was always one of our favorites with the sniper. The epic design. Come on. He literally got that thing on him. He literally has it in his hand. And then the moves are really bad. You got Hydro Pump. You got Ice Beam. You got Dark Pulse. In lower tiers, this thing will probably Terra Water and become like super strong, like Mini Kyogre, Iron Bundle type joint. But as for OU, this does not have a utility whatsoever. That is the unfortunate truth. Zacian, Zamazenta, these two have been nerfed. Zacian has been nerfed pretty decently, as with Zamazenta. Let me find out for sure. Yes, so as you can see, let me pull that up. Zacian has a -10 attack. Zacian Crown is -20 attack. Zamazenta regular is -10 attack. And then the Crown version of Zama has -5 to its defenses, as well as minus attack. Pretty rude. Why would they do that? What did bro even do to deserve such a thing? But Zamazenta got hit with it just because Zacian was too overpowered. But look at Zacian. The new ability or whatever, the Intrepid Sword, is that it only works once per battle. This thing is still going to be Ubers. There's no way this can be an OU. Both of the forms are just too broken. One of them turns into a Steel type, so that alone is out of this world. When you turn into this one is just uber overpowered. This one is like pussy, but it's still overpowered. Let's talk about Zamazenta. That's what I'm actually interested in talking about. Because Zamazenta, in my opinion, this regular version is going to be OU. It's already in National Dex, where it did not even make it to OU, for those of you who don't know. This thing is UUBL, or OUBL. It's OU by a technicality, which is so disrespectful. Bro, this is a fucking cover legendary. Why are they doing this, Game Freak? Give him a bone. Good, I'll give him a bone. You like that joke? Oh, I'm nice. I'm nice for real. Puns are crazy. Anyway, they give a body press, which is huge. What else? No, literally just body press. But that's huge because all this thing ever did was sit inside as a physical defense fighting type. Dauntless Shield gives you +1 defense, which means body press really is going to be crazy in the beginning. The set I ran in National Dex was Rest Talk, and I just sat around for days and I cheesed everybody. That was with the Zamazenta crowned though, so I don't know what this one's going to. Regardless, the stat distribution is great. 115 on the defenses, attack is pretty mid at 120, and its coverage is fucking garbage. It has close combat. Let me see what I ran in National Dex. Hold on. This is what I ran in National Dex. Close combat, Terra Fighting, CC Ice Fang, Crunch, Wild Charge. Now, the attack is bad, 120 base. It's the same as Chenpao, but Chenpao obviously has the ability, which makes it a little bit stronger than what it really is. But we do really appreciate that Zama is 138 base speed. It's very fast. It's not going to die to any physical attack with this type of bulk plus the ability. Matter of fact, it doesn't really die to special attacks either. Like this lives Specs Draco from Pulp and kills it with Crunch. You would trade very nicely. Terra Fighting means that you can immediately Terra and you can Oko some stuff that you wouldn't normally. Like I Terra Astalized into a fighting type and I was able to one-hit KO Grimmsnarl as a result. normally max HP Grimmsnarl would be able to live my hit and that sort of thing. So I think Zama is definitely going to be in OU. I think Finchinator, the OU tier leader, even said that he plans to start Zama in OU. And yeah, I don't see a world where this isn't OU. It's not good enough for Ubers. And OU, the power creep has changed in such a drastic way that there is just no fucking way, in my opinion, that this isn't OU to start us off. So that's my little thing on Zama. Should be fun. Shout out to Zacian. You're still the GOAT. You're going to be Ubers. Enjoy it. But Zamazenta, we're going to figure you out. Eternatus. I think Eternatus actually got crazy shit. Outrage, Gunk Shot, Fire Blast, Sunny Day, Fire Spin. Eternatus is solely an Ubers Pokemon. So as for OU, this is truly irrelevant. I'm not going to say too much about this. It's going to do the same thing it did in past gen. So, you know, defensive. And then Meteor Beam sometimes Cosmic Power. Let's talk about the next dude. Urshifu. There's two of them. I know a lot of you have been waiting for me to talk about this. Both of these are out of this world in terms of viability. I think Urshifu, the regular dark fighting joint, is probably going to end up getting banned. I don't see a world in which this one is now broken. The Punching Gloves boosts your moves that are effective by the sorry, that was not English. It boosts your punching moves by 1.1 power, and you do not make contact, meaning you do not take any rough skin, iron barbs, helmet, any of that shit. For some reason, Game Freak had a really genius idea at their headquarters and decided, you know what? While we do love Iron Fist and giving it to, you know, moves that make sense, such as Ice Punch, Fire Punch, and Thunder Punch, why don't we give Wicked Blow and Surging Strikes the ability to be boosted by Iron Fist? Now, because of that, these moves are boosted by gloves, I believe. Matter of fact, let me double check just to be sure. Yup, folks, I went right to Bulbapedia. We look at punching moves. You can see right there at the bottom under W, there is Wicked Blow. And then under S at the very bottom, there is Surging Strikes. And punching moves are what dictates punching gloves boost. So this thing also got access to Swords Dance. Both of them. So you kind of see where I'm going with this. I don't understand a world in which these sets do not obliterate the metagame. I don't understand. I don't even know what his last is going to be. Not to mention... Oh, wait, I already do. It's going to be this. Yeah. Whatever, dude. I don't know how this is going to be not broken. I don't know how either of these is supposed to be not broken. Like, I'm trying to figure out a situation in my head where both of these do not obliterate the game. Thanks to SD, Punching Glove boosting their moves, Terra typing into their type, and they have priority, like... I don't think so. I really don't think that either of these is going to be healthy for the metagame whatsoever. Just look at the tier list. Tell me what beats these. What stops these? Great Tusk? No. Great Tusk is not beating you. Fuck Great Tusk. I'll SD and turn into a flying type. I don't even have to turn Terra Dark. That's just the greed. Terra Water is more important on this because Aqua Jet, you can't play around Aqua Jet like you can play around Sucker Punch. So you would like those Aqua Jets just hitting with that real power off of Terra Water. But for this one, fuck it. Go Terra Flying if you want. Set up another SD on Tusk. Imagine that. Imagine that. I get +4. Like, this joint right here is so game-breakingly broken. It was broken in Gen 8, and then they decided, let's give it SD and its own item. Fuck out of here. This is getting banned. Yes, Iron Valiant does check it. It just doesn't matter, dude. Wicked Blow still crits every time. I believe Game Freak thought, let's nerf it a little bit, so they dropped it by 5 base power. Nice troll, guys. Nice troll. Doesn't matter. This shit... out of here. Wheezy out of here, bro. This is outlandish. Both of these things are outlandish. They have no place in our metagame. They will get banned. Regieleki and Regidrago. I already talked about Regieleki. Regieleki, I had a nice vid with that. Go check that out if you haven't seen it already. Has access to Terra Blast Ice. That's about all I can really say. Now has the amazing Bolt Beam coverage. What more could we really ask for, folks? Now has the ability to hit Ting Lu, Garchomp, all them shits. This thing got banned from National Dex OU, so I'm very curious as to see if it's going to be able to handle itself in regular OU, or it's just going to get banned because they're like, this is too annoying, it's too fast, the coverage is too good. We'll see. Shiyu did end up getting banned from National Dex, just like it got banned from OU. It actually got banned from National Dex first, so if National Dex is any indicator, I guess Regieleki would get banned too, but whatever. We'll actually let the metagame develop before I make any claims like that. Next, we have Regidrago. Regidrago vid coming soon. I haven't done it yet, but it's coming soon. Drago won big. He won big. He got, I believe, Earth Power and Earthquake. Yes, sir. So, Earthquake specifically works on the Dragon Dance set, but this is basically awesome because what more could you ask for in terms of coverage to work with your Dragon moves? You need to hit those steals, and you need to hit those fairies. Boom. Now he has Earth Power if he wants to run the special set with Dragon Energy, and if it wants to go with Dragon Dance, it has Earthquake to hit all Steel types. That's really amazing. I don't know why Game Freak did that, because this seems very out of character for them to give such a nice blessing to a Pokemon. But hey, Regidrago won very bigly as a result, and I cannot wait to use this thing with just spamming Dragon's Energy and Earth Power on the special set. I don't think I'm going to use Dragon Dance, just because, like, I don't know, like, there's way better physical attackers to make use of than trying to set this thing up, especially in an unaware metagame. Doesn't seem like a good use of my time. But Specs with Dragon Maw, and that thing right there is just going to... Holy shit. First of all, let me look at the, well, you'd run Dragon Pulse, Dragon Energy, and then honestly, you would probably run Terra Blast Final. You can go with Terra Dragon so that you're just super duper strong, like out of this world, with your dragon moves. But I do think that we have to talk about Terra Steel, because it hits poison, and who doesn't like turning into a steel type defensively? That's always really great and really appreciated. Both the Regis are going to be two of the best Pokemon in the meta. Terra Blast really does change up the game for them, specifically for Aleki. As for who's better, Aleki's better, and I really hope that it doesn't get banned, but if it does, then shit. That's pretty cool, because it wasn't anything too insane in Gen 8. It was just fun. Alrighty, now we have the bottom few. We have... Ooh, who is this? Glastrier, and then we have Spectrier. Let me put them in my builder real quick and flip us over there. So, Spectrier, I think Spectrier got some new shit. Psychic and Draining Kiss. Hilarious. Hilarious. Why would you give this guy Draining Kiss? Why? Why did he deserve this? This thing was OU for a little bit, and then it got banned very quickly afterwards. In Generation 8, no surprise there. 130 speed was faster than everything besides Pult, and then 145 special attack, and then stupid-ass Grimnay. Grimnay is Moxie, but for the special attacking stat. This thing's issue back in Generation 8 was that it had no coverage moves. Bro, we were using Mudshot and Will-O-Wisp as coverage moves. It didn't have coverage, and it still got banned as a result. Now they give it the only move that it needed to take care of Dark types? What are they thinking? Psychic is also pretty nice. You know, you can hit poison types harder, like Clodsire and Pex, that would normally take your hit. Anyways, the joint still gets Nasty Plot. It also still has access to the ability Terra Blast. Still has the ability to Terra Blast. Turn into a fighting type, smoke whatever dark type it wants that way. I don't see this thing not owning everybody in OU again. The 130 speed is good. 145 special attack is higher than Golden Go even. This is going to be like a little junior Chiyu. The bulk is not good, but 100 HP is great. So... I guess that's kind of I kind of went back on what I just said. What I mean is the defense and the SPDEF, they're not that good, specifically the defense. Like, this thing will get packed up by any knockoff. But the HP is good enough to where the neutral hit, you probably will be able to tank it. Like, Landorus EQ will not OHKO this. So, Spectre will probably be a top metagame threat. Suspect test worthy, probably at some point, just because it's going to do the same thing it always did, except now it has good coverage. Glastrier, this guy's weird. You would think that a Pokemon with this stats would be okay, like UU at least. I think this thing was PU in Generation 8. That means it was the lowest of the low, like the lowest possible. I think ZU is actually lower. Anyways, it was low enough is the point I'm trying to make. It just doesn't make sense why this thing is so bad. It has Moxie as its ability. It's just called Chilling Neigh instead. It got access to heavy duty boots, right? So it doesn't have to take rocks damage. The move pool is shiesty, bro. It has Close Combat. He has Icicle Crash. He has Mega Horn. He has Slam. Earthquake, probably. It doesn't have Earthquake, but it has Slam. Like, the guy's move pool was never bad by any means, but he could just never hang out in OU. Did it lose high horsepower? Yeah, great. Make sure we're walled by Golden Go. Man, fuck you, Glastrier. You're not coming with us. Moving on. Calyrex. I'm not even going to talk about the OG Calyrex because that thing has no competitive viability whatsoever. AKA this guy, he just looks like he got a big brain. Shout outs to him, but that's not getting the job done. You really don't do nothing. Wordier. Okay. What the hell is Wordier? Alright, so this is like Stantler's left cousin. Decent special attack, decent attack stat. Not bad actually. Ability is Intimidate, Frisk, or Sap Sipper. I like Intimidate personally, but judging by your team, you could go with the Grass Immunity if you were to need it. Got okay moves. Mega Horn, Thunder. I take it back. These are not normal moves. Psy Shield Bash. 100% chance to raise the user's defense by 1. Huh? Hold on. Hold on. Possible W check. Possible W check, folks. Let's see. All right, let me see by... Yep, we're probably going to run some cheese like this. Anyway, this will be a fucking phenomenal Pokemon in NU. Cannot wait to see what he does. Let's keep it pushing. Cleavor. Cleavor, Ursaluna, Bascullegion. Legion. Finally, they have all the saucy ones left. We can basically put all those left. I already talked about Sneasler, so I'm not going to include that. And I also already talked about Overquill, so I'm not going to include that. So we had Ursaluna, Enamorus, and the final one is... What was it? Bascullegion, Legion, both of them. Okay, perfect. So let's take a look at that, folks. And that should be that. So let's take a good look at Cleavor first. Cleavor, very similar to Hisuian Samurott in the fact that it got sharpness and a bunch of moves to make use of that. So the first move it has is a move called Stone Axe. Again, 65 base power, just like Ceaseless Edge was, so it doesn't get too strong with sharpness. With sharpness, it's 97.5 base power. This is the best rock type move ever, probably, because it's 90% accurate. They cannot make rock moves 100% accurate. Something in Game Freak's code does not allow for rock moves to be 100% accurate. I don't know why. Rock Slide, Stone Edge, Rock Tomb, just save us. Give us 100% Game Freak. Please, we're begging you. Just give us an accurate rock type move. Shit is crazy. Anyways, Stone Axe, amazing move on Cleavor. 97.5 power, like I said. Further boosted by Stab, and it gets up Stealth Rock. Meaning that if they go into their steel type Pokemon and they predict you correctly, you do a good amount of damage because this thing is not weak. This is not Samurott with 108 attack. This thing is 130 attack. This is a boss. And you're going to be getting up the rocks even if they predict you and switch into their resist. Even if the opponent goes to Great Tusk or Iron Treads and you're like, ah, damn it, they predicted me and I did no damage. Whatever, you got rocks up. Now they got to spin the next turn. You're up. They have to spin the next turn. You dictate their next play. That's the whole point of these moves that get up hazards. You dictate the flow of the game regardless of if your attack was the correct play. That's why I love these types of moves. Other than that, Cleavor has amazing options. Close combat, U-turn. I believe it also has access to X-Scissor. So it has a 120 base power bug stab move on that side. This thing's going to be cool. Defensively, it's okay. 70, 95, 75 really isn't that great. I'm not going to lie. But, I mean, you get Terra. You're going to be U-turning out a lot too. And I don't know. I mean, you're really just using this to attack and then get out of there. You can run Swords Dance. You can run other shit, but it's way too slow in my opinion for me to want to run Swords Dance. Also, if it has U-turn, why would I not want to run Choice Band? This just feels like the way to go. Yes, Great Tusk for the most part does wall this set. So you could end up running like Terra Blast into, I don't know, like a, I don't know. I'm trying to think right now what you would want to Terra Blast into. You would have to run the move Terra Blast to hit Tusk. Honestly, just U-turn out on Tusk. It's not worth breaking your brain to beat that, and you would probably have to run Terra Blast as a move, and I don't like that at all, especially when its other moves are so much better. Cleavor's going to be great, though. Definitely something to watch out for in OU. As for where it's going to start tier-wise, I don't think it's going to start in OU. I think maybe in the beginning it'll be OU, but it'll get bounced out pretty quickly, just because Bug Rock isn't that good defensively, and as for offensive rock types, it's going to have competition from stuff like Arcanine and that sort of thing. Ursaluna. Hell, the people are looking forward to this. I've seen so many people saying, it's time. This is the new, what's the word? This is the new Melmetal. So we look at the stats. They're crazy. 130 HP, 105 defense, 80 SPDF. These are really amazing defenses. Like, you really can't go wrong with this. I don't know what's the way to get the most out of everything. I think you're supposed to max your SPDF and max your HP, but I don't know for sure. So somebody in the comments can tell me how you're supposed to max your EVs to make sure that they're the most optimal. But Ursaluna, just like Ursaring and other normal types, has an absolutely godlike move pool. Ground normal, it got access to Headlong Rush, which is great. Has close combat, has body slam, body press, facade, guts, just like Ursaring did, so you can run Flame Orb. Boost that up, then you're running, you got your Headlong Rush, you got your facade. This is Evil Dual Stab. Now you need to hit those steel types, I'm talking Corviknight, which can take both of these. Boom. Fire Punch that ass. Done. And then as for the last move, man, you really have so many options. You got Gunk Shot, Ice Punch, Play Rough, Seed Bomb, Swords Dance. Like this guy's move pool, fuck it, you can run Trailblaze if you want to run something so crazy that you boost his mediocre speed. Hold on. I may have just broken the game with this joint right here. Phew. Anyways, it's going to be fun. Past Guts, you can also go with Bulletproof, which makes you immune to a bunch of different moves. Flash Cannon, I think Focus Blast too, right? So that'll be cool for checking Pokemon that hit with Focus Blast as a coverage option. I can definitely see Assault Vest being something good. I was thinking something like this will be very hard to kill on the special side. Obviously, let me get rid of Trailblaze. That shit is stupid. But yeah, I can definitely see something like this just... Does it get knockoff? Damn it. I can see an Assault Vest set being really, really annoying, though, all things considered. Ursaluna is probably going to be OU. I think the stat spread is way too good. Ground normal typing is pretty good, too. I don't think it's going to get banned or nothing, though. This thing is definitely able to be dealt with. Terra-wise, I would just Terra pure normal and go for Guts boosted Facades. That probably OHKOs like 3 Arceus at once. Enamorus next up. 2 forms of Enamorus. I talked about this heavily in the Hisuian video, so I'll probably go over it a little quickly. But either way, 2 cool abilities on Enamorus. This one gets Overcoat, aka the slow one. I like the slow one. I don't like it as much as the fast one, but the Therian form is fun regardless, right? You have Great Bulk, 74, 110, 100. Typing is okay. Fairy Flying, you are weak to Stealth Rock, which means then you have to run Heavy Duty Boots, which means you can't run a boosting item. I think Enamorus Therian does have the potential to set up pretty nice with Calm Mind, Draining Kiss. It also has access to Iron Defense and Earth Power. This thing is not weak by any means. Even with no investment, it's 306 special attack. So if you did Modest Nature, it still hits 336. You can run a little bit of speed. I don't know how much you need to outspeed Chansey in them. I think it's like 159, but again, someone can let me know in the comments below. But I do think that some type of bulky Calm Mind set with some investment, whatever the case is, it can be a really, really hard Pokemon to beat. Draining Kiss, we've seen this so many times on stuff like Tapu Fini, Tapu Lele last generation. They were able to sweep really nicely with that. I think in combination with Iron Defense, Earth Power to take out the Clodsire and other Steel types, this thing can be a huge threat. But I also want to talk about the OG. Now, the OG had Contrary, and it has Superpower too. Not had Contrary, it has Contrary. And it has Superpower. Unfortunately, I believe this is like the only move that it can use to take advantage of Contrary. It does have a good workable attack stat. However, I do want to touch up more on the special set. So, we go with Choice Specs. It gets access to Moonblast. Earth Power, I believe. What else does it get? Category Special. Access to Focus Blast, which is really dope for hitting the Steel types. Sludge Bomb is cool too. Mystical Fire. Holy cow. So you can hit Corv. This thing's move pool is really, really dope. Wow. You can even run Terra Blast Flying if you want that, but I don't think you need it. Speed's great. 106 edges out quite a lot of stuff, just barely. And bulk-wise, it's not horrible. Like, I can live 1 Moonblast from Valiant and that kind of thing. I'm looking forward to Enamorus a lot. I think that this is a Pokemon that everyone's excited to use, but nobody even knows the right way to run it, right? Off the rip, it's like, oh, let's run Special, let's run Specs, let's do this. I tried to figure out Contrary with Substitute, Superpower, Play Rough, and then Terra Blast Flying Physical. That might even have a utility. But Enamorus is definitely one of the most hype mons, just because every genie is good as shit. None of the genies are bad, right? The worst genie is Thundurus, and even he's good at what he does. So I'm very excited to see how these change the metagame up. And I do think that like Specs is just going to be nasty, right? Because 369 special attack, Specs makes it 553. Moonblast is one of the greatest special attacks, period. Moonblast is basically Special Earthquake, right? 0 drawbacks, beautiful power, and it can drop the special attack 30% of the time. So broken, man, so broken. And then finally we have these beautiful fishies. Let's talk about this one first because he's getting banned. Last Respects, this is the move that got the Dog Houndstone banned. In the rain or with adaptability, it really doesn't matter which way you go. This cannot be balanced. It's going to get banned as a result. So I believe Smogon has already stated that they're going to ban the move Last Respects and not the Pokemon. I don't know though. Regardless, let me get rid of Last Respects because this won't be legal. If Last Respects is with Basculegion, this is getting banned on the first day. Let's talk about the other stuff that it has because I don't want to just say, oh, it's banned and move on. So it gets Aqua Jet. It still does have adaptability. The stats 112 attack is not bad, especially when the HP is so high. Speed is mediocre, not bad, just mediocre. So I honestly think that this thing's BST is pretty decent. Defenses suck. 65-75 sucks, but the 120 HP definitely carries on that end. So let me go to physical moves and judge them by power. Got Wave Crash. Phantom Force is unfortunately the best ghost move that this shit has. Yeah, its move pool shit. I'm not going to hold you. Damn, no sneak. This will be fun to use though, because it's never not fun to use an adaptability Pokemon. I would run this. And then I'd probably get rid of Phantom Force and put something else over it. Like a real water move, like Liquidation. Probably run this. Yeah. Just like how Pult uses Terra Blast Ghost, because it doesn't have a good physical ghost move. This is what I would run on my Basculegion. This is honestly probably not even bad. With adaptability. You gotta run adaptability. Forget that Swift Swim shit. If you want to run a Swift Swim team, run somebody else. Don't run this. But that'll be fun. And then Basculegion F, which is the special attacking counterpart. I believe the special attack is low. This has 112 attack, but this doesn't have 112 special attack, which is incredibly sexist by Game Freak, but whatever, dude. So we put Hydro Pump, Shadow Ball, and then let me sort by category, sort by base power. Here's the hack. Here's the hack, so you always know the strong moves, folks. And then all we have left is Ice Beam and likely Hex or Terra Blast Fire or whatever. It's gonna be fun. I would probably go Terra Blast Ghost, Terra type Ghost, so that the Shadow Ball is 2-hit KO Pex and stuff like that. That's a big if. It'll be fun, but it will not be a top meta mon. Probably a RU or UU Pokemon. Definitely not OU. But Vascular Legions will be fun. The Last Respects one's getting banned, though, or the move is getting banned. And finally, folks, that shall conclude all of the Pokemon returning in Generation 9 Pokemon Scarlet and Violet from Pokemon Home. Yes, this was incredibly long. Sorry if it went longer than you expected. I know probably 99% of you are going to have to watch this in chunks because how the hell can you watch a 2-hour vid in one sitting? Unless you got a 2-hour 30 car drive, in which case, I hope you enjoyed your time with me. Thank you all so much, though, for watching this, showing love and support. I love making videos like this. Just sometimes they end up a lot longer than I think because I got a lot to talk about competitively. But I'm going to put timestamps so you guys will know that's based on each generation. And if you do watch this all the way through, if you want to be a top agent, I'll be truly grateful if somebody makes a comment saying each Pokemon's individual timestamp. But either way, thank you all so much. Leave a like. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.